डर से भागना क्या, गेम से डरना क्या? The game is in you, the arena's waiting for you. Let out your war cry, तू जीत के दिखा, डर के आगे आ. दुनिया को competition, we're in this to win this. No mistakes now, one wrong move, you're out of the game. They're screaming your name, so tell me, are you game? से डरना क्या? The game is in you, the arena's waiting for you. Let out your war cry, तू जीत के दिखा, डर के आगे आ. दुनिया को competition. We're in this to win this. No mistakes now. One wrong move, you're out of the game. They're screaming your name, so tell me, are you game? इससे दौड़ की है बीते, डर के आगे जीते.
Hello and welcome to the Dew Gamers Arena Rest of Pakistan qualifiers, the online qualifiers if you will. Now, if you're wondering why we started off a little bit late, it's because we were having some issues loading into the lobby and unfortunately had to drop one of our casters in the process of doing so. So today it will just be a duo cast. Hopefully Tultras, our third caster, will be able to reconnect for the second game of the day and for the finals. Would be nice to have him again, but for now we've got ourselves a fantastic game on our hands. Recreational Hazard versus Portal Black, and interestingly enough, Grimheart, and of course Grimheart with me as always. Interestingly enough, we actually have, if I'm not wrong, we have 4 players from last year's finals playing right now. So we've got Arrow and Joker who played from... Actually, no, we've got Arrow, Joker, Ibad, all of them who played from Prometheus Gaming last year, and it was from Portal who Seven played, and Seven, of course, was the player who went mid lane Meepo, if you remember correctly. Should be a fun one, nonetheless. It's definitely one of the more talent-stacked games that we've had so far.
10 seconds.
Yeah, in the last year's tournament, all the players that were there brought up one hell of a game, and it was really fun to watch them. What's interesting in this draft, the draft that's going on, is that the first 3 picks, at least, were picked as the timer started. It seems like the teams knew what they wanted to pick. And what's more interesting is that Portal Black, I believe, won the toss.
I think
and
so.
They opted to go for Radiant. Yeah, and they opted to go for the Radiant side. And being on the Radiant side, I believe it's... I don't know if that gives you a particular advantage, as the map for the both sides are more or less
The jungle's kind of nice.
similar. Yeah, I guess, yeah, the Radiant jungle I would prefer.
Yeah. What I'm kind of surprised about, though, Ram, is the fact that we haven't actually seen a Mars touched so far. It's a hero that's been given a lot of priority, particularly towards Europe and sometimes some of the Chinese games. But in the Summit in particular, which recently happened, we saw Mars picked or banned almost every single game.
Even in we saw Mars being picked in the earlier games of Dew. Oh, sorry, banned in earlier games of the Dew Arena qualifiers. And yeah, it's not being touched right now. Neither is it being picked or banned.
I kind of hope that Recreational Hazard end up being the ones to pick it, because I love Ibad on the offlane, and I'd really like to see him pulling out that new hero. But at the same time, I have to look over to and see other heroes that are in the pool and have already been picked. Tiny coming out from Portal Black. That's one of those nice little flex picks that you can send down toward the mid lane if you really want to. But I would be interested to see if it is a support. A Bristleback. Not the best of heroes against a Slark that Recreational Hazard have gone and picked for themselves. You can get quite a few Essence Shift stacks as you beat into him.
Yeah, being second picked, they had enough time to counter him, and Slark being a natural Silver Edge builder is very good against Bristleback. It's gonna be really hard for the Bristleback later on in the game, once that Silver Edge is up and running, to be effective in team fights. And we've seen that in previous game where the Bristleback does not get any farm in the starting, like 8 to 10 minutes, he's just running around with brown boots and a stout shield.
I think we saw that in the Karachi qualifiers, right?
I think so. Yeah. The Bristleback was just a non-factor in those games. He was able to tank up the damage, but the problem was that he died too quickly as well. And now the Slaughter is picked up as well, and to say the least, it's a very confusing lineup coming from Portal Black. maybe what you were saying about Tiny going to mid is what's happening here, and they're gonna send Bristleback safe lane with Slardar
10
off lane.
seconds remaining.
Could even be a Slardar support, to be honest. I guess Dazzle's Poison Touch, pairs up nicely enough to set up for a quick stun. Slardar Dazzle is also just a really good combination later on for the armor reduction, so that could be nice. I'm kind of curious to see whether Lina could be sent down towards mid lane. If they expect Tiny to be there, that could be a good matchup for her. Honestly, what I'd really like to see right now with all of the heroes being picked up is Dark Willow for Recreational Hazard.
Dark Willow is definitely a strong pick. It's kind of in the meta as well. It pairs very strongly with a lot of heroes, especially something like a Grimstroke, where you not especially strong with a Grimstroke. It's just that the double stun coming out is really potent. It has a big radius, and you really need to split for like you would like for a Lich ulti.
I think the other really nice thing over here, though, for a Dark Willow for me would be just the fact that the amount of kiting that you would have for the Radiant lineup in Portal Black, they are kind of getting into a bit of a corner. Tiny and Slardar are Blink Dagger builders, yes, but 3 melee heroes already. The Bramble Maze is very problematic for them. Add in the Terrorize, short cooldown, just sends them back. So much control to come through. So many ways to save the Slark. And, I still think it could end up going really well for them. But Elysian comes in. Not a hero we see very much of.
Yeah, and I don't know how to feel about this pick. Sure, she's gonna be really great in lane. She is a good laner with her third ability that procs kind of like mad. She's able to sustain herself in lane. And what else I want to talk about is actually the Winter Wyvern, the first pick from Recreational Hazard. I think Winter Wyvern kind of plays well into a Slardar because you're gonna be down a lot of armor, but that physical damage will be negated. But then again, they also have a Tiny to be able to have enough time to toss back that cold embrace target into their own team.
That's definitely true. But
it's just that both of the teams can go for one against one abilities when they're in a team fight, and it's just I think who is able to cast the ability later will be able to win that team fight.
Speaking of
for
team
example,
fights, I feel like Portal Black setting up for what could be a much better team fighting lineup with the way things are going, and they've got decent pick-off potential as well. Well, Recreational Hazard in the meanwhile, more than anything else, they look like they want to just stack up dual damage, stack up permanent essence shift stacks on Slark, just get a few kills here or there, play the hit and run tactics more than anything else.
Radiant team pick.
Ooh,
I feel like
okay.
Invoker is definitely a rocky pick. Seeing that these days in Dota meta that you want to be able to support your other lanes as well. You want to TP in, counter gank, roam with runes. And Invoker is not a hero that really cares about the runes, right? He just wants to sit in lane. And if it's a Quas Invoker, he can just Sunstrike. And that's a good pairing with the Legion. Exort. Yeah. That's a really good pairing with Legion. And you also have a Lina to burst down a dual target.
Yeah, sure.
But I think Axe is banned. I was going to go for Axe since there is a Dazzle, but it is banned third.
I actually think that another really major point about the Invoker is that over here, if you go for Quas Vex, you're going to have very limited damage heading into it. Like, I think the Lina is the only person who provides you some decent damage early game. Otherwise, Slark kind of wants to go for that Midas. Legion Commander kind of wants to have a Shadow Blade, a Blink Dagger, some sort of mobility item before she can really come into her own. So you need an Exort Invoker. And with an Exort Invoker, I was actually reading SCCC, the mid player from newbie from TI7. He was saying that, I think he said something on the lines of that Invoker in the current metagame just needs too much net worth and too much space to be justified picking often as a mid lane hero. But against 3 melees, it could still be very interesting. Now, Revenge Silence does come through to complete the draft out, but we have to take a short ad break to be back in just a bit. And we are back. So Silencer comes in. I like the pick. It's great at disrupting any sort of team fight that Recreation has and want to bring in. And this is where, again, kind of what I was talking about. The team fight is slightly lacking on both sides in some regards. I mean, Bristleback's a very good team fighting hero, don't get me wrong. And you don't have that many heroes that are fantastic at kiting other than the Slark. And maybe to some extent you could throw in the Winter Wyvern into it. But at the end of the day, the Radiant side seem to have a little bit less in the pickoff potential. I feel like the laning stage will matter so much in this game.
I think the laning stage matters in every game, right? You want to be able to win your lanes, and
yes,
that is how you are
game.
going to be able to walk down to the other person's ancient. But yeah, you're right. What I wanted to point out was, this Silencer is a good disruption hero, right? He can disrupt the team fights, allow your team to reset. But I think that's the same can be said for the Winter Wyvern, especially since the enemy team does have 3 melee cores, right?
Yeah.
And
I mean, I agree completely.
And
if I had to put it down, I would really say that the DI side kind of looking like they've gotten the better end of the stick when it comes to the drafting phase.
Especially since that they have more burst damage than the Radiant, and that will allow them to bring down the heroes more quickly in a team fight and then move on to another hero. Whereas for the Radiant side, sure, you have the Tiny, but that burst is just limited to one hero. And after that burst is finished, you want to wait around for the cooldowns to come back off. Sure, if you get yourself an Echo Saber and a Tree, you smack really hard. But on the other side of the team, you don't have those kind of heroes that go down really quickly, especially when you have a Winter Wyvern who can cold embrace herself or any enemy hero that the Tiny deems that he's going to go on.
So I really find this an interesting strategy, though, for them to send the Bristleback in towards the safe lane, and I can't tell if they are predicting this Slark to be coming his way, but I feel like that really can't be the case. Slardar has a much better time in the lane against Slark comparatively to Bristleback, in my opinion, but maybe that's what they were going for. Not fully sure, but mid lane's going to be interesting. Mid lane, it is going to be wait, it's Tiny, right? Wait, who's mid?
I think it's Slardar versus Invoker. No, I think Tiny is moving towards mid.
It's got to be Silencer, right? No.
Silencer?
He's got pull tangles.
Yeah,
he's got pull tangles.
He got a pull tangle.
Yeah. Fair enough. Just lanes being
and Tiny's going to be rotating in to be a bit of a nuisance to the Invoker in lane. Yep. Which is going to be really helpful for the Silencer, since he is a squishy hero, and until and unless you get something like a Force Staff, you're going to have a bad time later on in the game when you get caught by something like a Legion or Slark. Force Staff is actually really good against Slark since you can get out of the leash.
I think this is Tiny trying to get the courier, but he ends up having to TP down towards the bottom lane to try and get some damage. Now, Invoker has gone for Quas first. I'm guessing that means it's a Quas Vex Invoker, but bottom lane, this shouldn't be a fun time for the Radiant side up against this tri-lane.
Especially when you have 2 melee heroes into a Lina and a Wyvern who can set up a potential kill very easily once they hit level 2 on Slark.
Potential kills. Top lane, Ibad is forced to TP out already. He does get himself a stick, so he'll have much more survivability now. Fortunately enough.
But he did TP back towards his tier 1. That's
true.
Really good.
Especially because
he isn't going to miss anything.
Especially because when you're going in on him. Actually, that's not... Never mind. I thought Bristleback would have been level 2 by now, and that would have been Quill Spray that got him down so low, but it really was just the reduction in armor and the Poison Touch. They're doing so much damage. Ibad's going to be forced back to a Fountain at this rate, and the TP's even coming out. Winter Wyvern knows he has to come in, but he doesn't have the Cold Embrace, so Ibad still isn't off to safety. Lots of goo being used, and they're really going in on this armor reduction strategy.
Yeah, they understand that the Legion is solo over here, and they wanted to get the pressure off of the bot lane from the Slardar and Tiny so that they could have some semblance of lane control. I feel like as though right now the Dire are coming out on top in terms of bot lane, but all of the rest, the mid lane and the top lane, are going in the favor of Radiant, which, to be honest, I was not expecting.
I think a little bit of this comes down to the fact that it is a Quaspex Invoker as well. Now, Revenge has some advantage in the lane, as far as the fact that, you know, he can use the glaives and not really care too much about creep aggro. But remember, oh, hey, that happened, guys. But top lane is where more action's happening. At least we'll get second blood, I think. I'm not sure yet. Joker, please die over here, really. Just for the sake of it. No! Top lane, more action going on. They're still going after Joker. They should be able to get this one. Ibad will fall as well. Needs mana, but didn't use the stick in time. I think he would have had enough to actually take down Ibad. There was 3 or 4 stacks of Quill Spray on him. Could very well have been the case.
Hectic fights going on bot as well. I think first it was the Tiny who got caught off. No, sorry, it was Slardar who got caught off. And then the Lina stun into the Slardar was... They were also able to get the second hero down bot.
Oh.
Just as I was saying that the two lanes are going in favor of Radiant, it turns out on top lane, the Legion was able to get the better trade by killing the Bristleback at a timely warned press button.
Mm-hmm. Ibad's doing a really good job. I mean, 12 last hits. I don't know how many of those are neutrals, so keep that in mind. That could be a factor, but you know, for an offlaner against a very aggressive lane, that is definitely very well done by him. Meanwhile, bot lane, Arrow will continue pulling away, denying some experience. This Slardar, how far behind is he? So he's actually fairly even so far, but I'm sure this one wave will make quite a bit of a difference.
Silencer should spot the double damage rune down bot, and that might help out with his laning in lane, since now Invoker is starting to build a pressure on him with just a tornado. I saw him just throwing it out for a little bit of harassment on Silencer, and as I said, that Silencer is just... He's not gonna have a good time in lane. He's not that tanky, in a sense. He's gonna die quickly.
He's very
if
immobile.
Someone goes on you.
Like, he's got the HP, but he doesn't have the mobility. 8 armor on him when he's close to the tower, and 900 health with the double non-talisman is fairly hard to bring down, but still. Top lane, Joker's kind of just being flying away very slowly. Very slowly, actually, and that'll be extended even further as the Quill sprays and the goos come out. Cyrus doesn't have very much mana, but with the magic one, that might be enough to take him down. 2 more right clicks, and this should be it. Joker hasn't skilled Cold Embrace yet, prioritizing the Splinter Blast, which, you know, for an aggressive lane, I would understand, but maybe could have done him some favors if he had it there.
I don't think that would have helped him outright, though. Right? If you Cold Embrace, that just allows the Bristleback to stack up more quills or goo on you. But even if you're under tower, the Bristleback had enough
I'm not sure. Do quills do damage? Oh, Revenge is down. He doesn't have mana, very much of it at the very least, so he actually ends up living. Sparks didn't expect that, and as a result of it, it seems like this Silencer will be able to live to fight another day. Backs off as well, and no shine for him.
He's terribly low on HP. He is gonna have to make that trip back to base, and that is gonna allow the Invoker to get ahead in experience and maybe even start to rotate with his cross sweat, since he does have that added movement speed, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, top lane. Are we gonna see any action? Doesn't look like it. But this is level 6 though, so keep an eye out for duels. Keep an eye out for a yelling Valhalla lady.
Oh, but for that duel to get any
bottom lane, they're going in on the Freak. Freak does turn around, has got the Avalanche after Dark Pact was already used. This Slock isn't 6 yet, so he's got to be careful, but a secondary stun from Arrow might be all they need. A stun from Demo will prevent him from going away, as it will be one more right click to seal the deal, but Arrow manages to get 1 stun out at the end of the day. Now here's the thing, Demo's got himself 2 right clicks already. If he was able to sprint forward, Hawkeye might have gone down, but he expects Hawkeye to have used the Dark Pact in time to get away to safety. Could have been a kill maybe, but Tiny was a bit too far away.
Top lane, it looks like the Bristleback
yeah.
will go down to the duel, and that damage is going to start getting
that's just enough time. Dazzle comes in, 7 will save the day, and even if Bristleback goes down, that's still small victory if anything.
If Dazzle goes down here as well, that might be worth it now, since the duel damage was not...
Oh, there's the Fairy Fire. Could be kept alive. Are there TPs coming in? Slather's got one, but he doesn't want to use it in front of the Lina. And 7 instead just keeps on using that Shadow Wave. Keeps on running into Ibad, but with the lack of TP responses, it's just too late. I love this from a Hawkeye and Arrow. They recognize the need for aggression to prevent the TP from coming through, and Ibad is able to keep on going because of it.
Just going that merry-go-round around the trees and trees. What was really interesting is that he went and salved himself. That made the Dazzle want to turn back and cancel it under the tower and maybe get a return kill. But unfortunately, he was not able to do that. Bristle has hit 6 as well, and I feel like as though now the teams have gotten a bit of stride to themselves, and they'll look
middle lane. They've got the tornado trying set up, but Revenge is returned with a global silence. They're going in onto the Invoker. Good damage from the Shadow Wave will not be enough to be able to bring him down, and instead this turnaround will be stopped preemptively. Joker forced to TP in as well, but with the 2 players from bottom lane coming in, the DI side might be coming out on top in this exchange.
They are, because the Silencer LT was expended, and that is a huge CD that now the Dire team can work around and pressure more aggressively than they were already.
Ibad, be careful. You're playing with Nasal Goo, which is a lot worse than playing with Fire.
Fire would just burn you down real quickly. The
Nasal Goo humiliates
slow you down. Yeah, exactly. That just slows you down, and you're just running away, and you're just thinking, "God, this is disgusting." Woo! And there's a boar running after me.
You know what? Enough about my nightmares.
Well, you have nightmares about boars.
Oh, dude, the boars are terrifying. Listen, have you seen how big boars are? They're terrifying.
The ops ward that was planted will get spotted by the sentry, but no, I have not seen a live boar. Really? I believe.
There's so many.
Even though I get to hear that so much, I still have not been able to see one.
You know what? You can see a digital boar right now because Cyrus is playing one preemptive grave onto 7 to make sure that if there was a duel, then Ibad wouldn't be able to take him down too quickly. Now remember, Ibad's still very low. He does have the magic wand, so he can play a little bit more dangerously as they wait for the Invoker to come in from this side. Tornado catches out 2, but Ibad perfectly played over there. Revenge will go down, and a dual kill finally. That was such a nice overwhelming odds.
It hit all the 3 heroes, and the damage was overwhelming, if I may say so.
You're terrible.
Bringing down the Bristleback, right then and there, and Invoker rocking the Urn and Cold Snap. That is just a toxic combination that makes it very hard for you to run away. And it looks like they want to try on that Tiny, but they missed the Tornado.
Bit surprising.
And I don't think they're going to be able to get that kill right.
Oh, global silence to come through, presumably for bot lane. Do they have anything to turn around with? Looks like they don't. Hawkeye will just be content with taking off the... Ooh, what? What?
What? Oh, so is this a joke? I'm not sure. Really?
Is the game?
I mean.
Okay.
Okay. I think the Silencer was not happy with his ulti. That's all I can come up with. Like, his ulti did not pay off on the Slar kill, and they just felt like they could not catch up after that lead.
Guys, I think we'll just see you
in 11 minutes.
No, listen, that's fine, but you know what? Guys, we'll see you in the next game, I suppose. I don't think there's much use to analyze that one now. We'll be back in just a bit.
डर से भागना क्या, गेम से डरना क्या? The game is in you, the arena's waiting for you. Let out your war cry, तू जीत के दिखा, डर के आगे आ. दुनिया को competition, we're in this to win this. No mistakes now, one wrong move, you're out of the game. They're screaming your name, so tell me, are you game? डर से भागना क्या गेम से डरना क्या The game is in you The arena's waiting for you Let out your war cry तू जीत के दिखा डर के आगे आ दुनिया को competition We're in this to win this No mistakes now One wrong move You're out of the game They're screaming your name so tell me Are you game?
Hello, hello, hello! It is time to have what will hopefully be a slightly longer than 11 minutes game on our hands. Relentless versus Team Police. This time around we've got ourselves all three casters, even if one of them seems to be like punching his microphone for some reason. Tala, is that you? I feel like that's you.
That might have been me.
Okay.
That might have been my chair hitting the table.
Okay, then stop punching your microphone. Anyhow, the microphone puncher with me right now is of course Grimheart, and finally the man who is rejoining us after game 1, so I'm having some hiccups, will be Daltrus himself. Now, Relentless versus Police. I can't say I recognize these player names, but in all fairness, they are also player names that might not be their official names. Because something tells
and one of them doesn't have a name.
Yeah, one of them doesn't have a name, so we don't really get to recognize anyone.
He could be anyone.
He could be
Dendi.
Wow, that just shows how outdated you are.
I mean, no, okay, Dendi himself is really outdated now.
Yeah, that's true. That's the point.
But he'd still be everyone's favorite.
If you knew about modern memes, you'd be saying he could be no one.
But no one isn't in this game because no one is,
Why don't you understand the pun?
Oh my god, never mind. We're back. We're gonna go back to the game itself. Police ban out the Meepo. Always interesting to see that. Relentless ban out the Spirit Breaker, Timbersaw, and Pangaea. This seems to be more like a comfort draft. It doesn't seem like we're going for meta bans, meta picks, something on those lines. It really does just seem like, hey guys, we really hate that hero.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah,
Nah,
definitely. I think Team Police are aiming to ban the heroes that they're not comfortable playing against, especially like the Meepo and the Naga Siren. Naga Siren, I mean, you don't usually see a Meepo and a Naga ban come out this early on. So
Dire team
I don't know about meta picks not being banned. The Timbersaw, the Spirit Breaker, and the Grimstroke. All of these 3 picks are very heavily favored in the matches that we have seen, and in the.
I don't think he's picked first pick.
But that becomes a flexible pick, no?
Yeah, that's
you
true.
could send it off lane, safe lane, mid lane. Like you can just rotate him whatever way you want.
One day we will see.
Mars is open
Yeah, that's true.
on the hero list, and Mars is a very good hero, especially in this meta right now.
Yeah, I remember you wanted to actually see a game with Mars, and unfortunately in the previous game they also didn't touch Mars. And it looks
this
like
could be it, though.
Willow will be picked up, which is a strong pick
alright.
in these games.
So Willow and Mars are a really good combination, but I quite like Brewmaster over here as well. It's got good kill potential in the offline.
Yeah, Willow is a hero that, honestly, I think Willow just works with every single hero in the game just because of how much utility the hero has.
Speaking of utility, Brewmaster himself is not that bad of a utility provider as well as a damage provider, especially when he hits level 6 in a team fight. He can just tornado someone and that fight becomes 4v5, making it a lot easier for you until and unless you have something like a Lincoln's or a BKB to stop that.
That could be really good against Warlock, to be honest with you. You can tornado up the Warlock. That is effectively, one counter-engaging, disengaging ultimate that's already taken away. But Lina In the meanwhile, another flank pick coming out could be mid, could be support, more likely to be support, but we'll have to wait to see.
I really want to see Ponder dodge the Laguna Blade with his ultimate. Like, I want to see that this game.
They stopped that though, no? Like, you're not invulnerable anymore.
No, but you have the
Aren't you?
moment. You have the moment of when the units are changing.
Yeah, when he's casting the, like, I think this
Yeah.
is 0.2 or 0.3
Yeah,
second interval.
kind of like Manta, but it's very hard to time.
10
Or like
seconds
Storm Spear when
remaining.
you're zapping and you get hit by a Laguna, but you dodge
Yeah.
it.
You don't know anything about that.
Dire
Tala.
team
You
I have
definitely do
done
not know
that.
anything about that.
Uh,
I would definitely call that a fluke though. Yeah.
anyhow.
Just
Slack Oracle banned out from the Dire side soon afterwards, while the OD and Juggernaut are taken away. Juggernaut's a pretty high priority pick. It would be nicely paired up with Alina as well as the Warlock, so could see that being a good addition to what could have shaped down to be a pushing lineup.
Brewmaster does do very well against the Juggernaut and against other physical carries. So Juggernaut definitely a very strong carry in this meta, but Brewmaster is very good at controlling those sort of
I
carries.
think it's also more just that the natural spin. It's like, yeah, Brewmaster is good against basically any carry that has to right click, don't get me wrong, but Juggernaut's got the spin, natural BKB kind of thing.
yeah, but then you have to expand that spin to lost it on the lane, and that just leaves you
I
open
mean
to
in like team
getting-
fights, I don't mean it like
getting killed.
You're not winning that lane
That's-
against Brewmaster and Willow.
Yeah, but Juggernaut's
That's-
spin isn't really that effective in a team fight. I mean, in a team fight, when Juggernaut uses his spin, it's usually to block magical abilities or to run away. His main attacking potential comes from right clicks, his critical strike, and his ultimate.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to go into a fight spinning and then just get caught out on the wrong side of the fissure. Anyways, the long-awaited hero Mars is picked up, and that gives them a lot of team fight, especially paired with a Warlock in Alina.
Oh, yeah.
That is just scary.
I think especially I like the combination between Fatal Bonds and Arena that could potentially come through if Mars, once he gets a Blink Dagger, can Arena in like a couple of different people.
Not to mention, you do not want to be inside the arena with the golem.
Yeah, exactly, just pounding away. That could be big.
Correct me, I'm not sure about this, but can the Ember Spirit Remnant out
Yes,
of
you
the
can.
arena?
Yeah, you can.
It's because it's treated as flying, and the arena doesn't do anything on the Z-axis. Ember Spirit though,
Isn't
and
it more of that when you're remnanting, you're kind of invulnerable, so that the wall just
you
doesn't do
are
anything to you?
invulnerable, but it's also like you're invulnerable and flying. If you're invulnerable and moving without flying movement, you
I
still
see.
don't do much. Anyhow,
I believe this is the second matchup that we're seeing with Templar
yeah, we
Assassin
saw
versus
this
the Ember
in the
Spirit.
Islamabad qualifiers.
And I believe Ember Spirit did very well in that lane, even though they lost the game after that.
No, that's not what happened. Like Ember Spirit did badly early on for the first 6.5 minutes, and then some good ganks turned things around, and Ember started doing much better. And eventually, it just became that the score was, I think it was 17-12, something like that, and the Ember Spirit became a little bit too impactful. However, they ended up losing the game, if memory serves.
Yeah.
Because Ember had those.
If I remember,
This is a pretty greedy lineup coming up from the Relentless. Not because of the Swen pick, but just the fact that they have a Warlock and Alina playing as supports. I mean, those are very greedy supports.
I mean, Sven pick doesn't help.
yeah, since they need levels,
10 seconds remaining.
to be
They need
effective
the
in
gold.
the
They need the gold as well. I mean, Warlock needs his scepter. So usually you are playing a Warlock position 4. Or if you're playing a position 5, then the only item you're ever going to be making is a scepter, and that'll be a successful Warlock. Right, but Alina needs a lot of items. Alina, even as a position 4, just because of the Laguna Blade, can actually get those gold and those levels.
Yeah, it's just not the items. I feel like it's more on the levels as well, with the increased stun on Lina, increased heal on Warlock, increased fatal bonds. That's going to give them a lot of potential as well. Is to get to the items that you're talking about.
But Relentless have very
think
good
Team
snowball
Police-
potential though with their lineup so far, and I feel like Police need something to be able to maybe disrupt that a little bit. I was even thinking, and this is very greedy. Don't get me wrong, this is incredibly greedy. So I'd like to hear, Grimard's thoughts on this first. How do you think about a Medusa?
Where would you lane it though? Would you want it to go safe lane?
Yeah.
But the problem with what you were saying is if you pick a Medusa, then it becomes a bit hard on how you want to lane. Actually, it's hard right now on how they want to lane on Team Police.
Tell you guys what.
I think Medusa actually would have been better than the Ursa.
So we'll
that
come back
would
to
have...
that in just a second. We have to go to a quick ad break. And when we're back, I'm sure Tala can give his thoughts on it too. Alright, so we're back. We've got the lineup sorted out. Tala, what do you think?
I think Team Police should have picked a better carry because Ursa, I mean, we've talked about this a lot because Ursa seems to be a favorite pick in this tournament. We haven't seen the Ursas do very well when there's a lot of control coming out. And I mean, what's an Ursa going to be doing inside of the arena, right? He's going to be
Fighting.
stranded.
He's going to be fighting. That's
he's gonna be fighting, but like I mean, he's gonna be kited. Like he's not gonna get much get much done. I believe a ranged carry like the Medusa you were talking about does a lot better in this lineup than an Ursa.
Medusa obviously still very hard to get rolling though at the end of the day. So I kind of understand if they think that they want more, but Radiant side, very snowball heavy lineup. They can do a lot with this, especially if these Sven and Lina are laning together. Even the Mars and Lina are laning together. We could see it being pretty impressive. Dire side though, their lineup that needs to snowball.
I think a lot of the pressure is going to come out on the Earthshaker and Dark Willow to make something happen, you know, because the Radiant have a greedy lineup and they don't have supports that do very well in the early game. Warlock is a laning support, you know, Lina, you can go for those pickoffs, but Lina's stun needs to be chained up or something, which they don't actually have right now. So Dark Willow and Earthshaker, these are the heroes that we need to be watching out for in the early game to see what they exactly do.
You're talking about no follow-up for Lina, but I think you're forgetting about the Sven in the game. And unfortunately, Lina is not going with the Sven. I would have liked her to go with the Sven since that would give her the absolute stun follow-up. But then again, you also have a Mars Spear. Though the positioning can get a bit awkward if the spear gets hit to a further tree, not allowing the Lina to follow up with her stun and potentially take down that hero.
Definitely, and I mean now I'm kind of figuring out how this laning matchup will go. I feel like Ember versus TA is it's a matchup where, alright, fine, one side might be slightly favored, but it's not really one of those, oh my god, this is super one-sided, how are you ever going to win this matchup? And I'm always going to be interested to see how that goes, especially given the fact that Relentless have probably not got as good supports at rotating.
Actually, I think like with the Earthshaker pick on the Dire team, they have the potential to roam early on.
That's
earlier than the Radiant.
Relentless is Radiant.
They might be securing 3 bounty runes over here.
Well, you say that, but bot lane, Sven is able to pick that one up.
Well, that was quite interesting. He went in there solo and managed to get the bounty out on the Dire side. I think this would work out way better because Lina, again, as Ramesh said, not very useful in the top lane. It would have been better paired up with the Swan.
I feel like Lina does really well with Mars.
They don't have as big of a kill potential over here.
Is their objective to kill though?
I mean, I think their objective is to get as far ahead as they can because they do have a very greedy lineup. I mean, if you look at on the mid side, you were talking about the lineup between Ember and Templar, but suppose a rotation comes out with the Earthshaker and Dark Willow. Templar, the Radiant side don't exactly have a defense mechanism where someone's going to TP in and try to save the Templar. That Templar is going to die if a rotation comes in.
So I actually kind of disagree with that. I think that Radiant side's top lane's objective isn't really to kill. It's more just to make sure that the Earthshaker is forced to stay here so that the Assassin doesn't have to worry with that. You know, if Dark Willow and Earthshaker have enough pressure exerted on them, they can't really rotate towards the TA, and they might have faith in their TA to be able to get a straight 1-versus-1 victory. And that's where I think maybe Lina does a little bit better. But as I say that, Lina is going to get a nice little stun, followed up by the Spear of Mars, but Silent Sorrow being chased apart regardless. Rajput might be able to get this one, just needs a little bit more. The stun is very nicely placed though, and Sorrow will back off. In the meanwhile, Mars getting a few free creeps.
You were talking about if the kills are the objective on top lane. I feel heavily as though yes, that should be the case on top lane.
Oh no, that is a beautiful bramble. And Lina with a nice little stun coming through onto the Earthshaker. And I mean, Sorrow, he's probably dead over here. He does have a TP. If he's able to use that and get away to safety, maybe we see something different. But he's largely just wasting time. And not the worst of circumstances, I guess. I mean, you are taking a few last hits away, but not really the best.
I mean, they immediately saw the kill potential that they had with the Earthshaker and the Dark Willow, and they seemed to want to go for it. I mean, 3v2, that is the correct play. You know, maximize. If your supports have to stay in lane, then you might as well get those kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since you have the Brew bot who does really well against carries, melee carries especially.
Yeah.
Right now, I feel as
I don't think the Brew is going to die in the bot lane unless he messes up quite badly.
I think on the side of the Radiant, the reason they want to get those kills is that you want the Lina to get ahead and experience, get a bit of gold in her, and be able to be a bit hard hitting than she is in the early levels. That will exert more pressure on the Dire and allow maybe her to go in the Brewmaster.
That's a nice fissure coming through. Bramble Maze isn't quite placed well enough to get Lina, but instead the second Bramble will allow them to take down Drugs. He does need one more right click on him, but he chooses to sacrifice himself to the tower instead.
Have to say it's really well played tri-lane by the Dire. Constant pressure on the top lane. We talked about, we haven't talked about, but in this meta in Dota.
Ooh, wait for it, because we've got ourselves a potential kill to come through. Great shield bash as well. Willow's Shadow Realm will not matter all too much, and Drugs is able to get the kill, but it seems like there might have been a response. However, Lina is able to dissuade any further aggression, and honestly, this lane, I know it looks like it's a travesty, but you have Ursa on 12 last hits. You have, you know, the supports not being able to rotate. You have, and because of that, you have TA on 19. This isn't the best of circumstances for the Dire side either, Talal.
That's true, but keep in mind that, you know, this Ursa is most likely not going to be going for a Midas, so he will come online in the mid game. And while we were talking about having to stay in lane, we do see Earthshaker moving towards the mid lane. So this might be a gank
I mean, he's scouted
coming out on a Templar Assassin.
The ward does.
Yeah, I mean, he should have gone in with the smoke.
Probably.
Fair, but
well.
Speaking of ops wards, there's a very decent ward blocking out the camp, making sure that the Warlock is not able to pull.
Surprised that hasn't been de-warded yet.
Yeah, other than that, we don't really see right now any other wards coming out, and I think that might be really important since this ward on the on the mid lane was able to save the TA from the ES gank.
The point though is that over here you still see. Wait, who? Okay, I'm sorry. Whose mic is doing that?
I believe that was my mic. I'm sorry.
All right, it's okay. I just sounded like someone's trying to bite my ears off. But bounty runes going basically 2 apiece. Nothing too bad there. Mid lane, Ember's not doing too badly either. He's really started to keep himself in stride, and even though TA has been able to keep a bit of a farm lead, it's largely an even matchup.
Yeah, we should be seeing a rotation come out over here once Ember is on level 6.
Well, Ember, I mean, he wants to get a little bit jiggy right now towards mid, and TA is just not able to get the Sideblade hits out. Otherwise, it could have been a very dead end, but instead he just TP's back and he'll be fine. Nice fissure will be blocking out Lina, and that will be a missed spear as well. Because of that, Lina will end up going down. There's a TP response, but EQ on the Warlock will not matter. Parky Shroud taking a lot of damage because of the fatal ones, but it will be the end of it. Rajput turns around, gets the kill, and that'll be it. Actually, secondary Brambles coming through, and Silent Sorrow is forced to come in as well. That could have been a kill, but in the meanwhile, kill actually happening solo in the mid lane.
I guess, yeah, that was worth it because Ursa, Earthshaker was going to die from the Fatal Bonds. And Ursa went further, he got the Mars kill, Earthshaker did dash with the Fatal Bonds, but again, that was worth it. And remember, we were talking about the defensive mechanism of the Radiant just not being really strong. Warlock keep it in to try for a counter initiation, but you know, he's not really a hero that can actually do much in that scenario.
Yeah, especially if he doesn't get the heal off a little bit earlier on to add that survivability.
Yeah, Warlock's a hero that you want to TP in beforehand than the gank is already proceeding, so that you are able to throw out that heal and the fatal bonds, so that since he is a damage over time kind of hero.
I thought Sorrow will be stunned up, but it seems like it won't matter too much. Mars right now, if he catches that, could have been big, but Rajput a bit too fast for the face boots. Meanwhile,
Ember Spirit is going to see that Templar Assassin is farming the jungle. Earthshaker has rotated towards the mid lane, and if this Templar isn't careful, he might just end up going down.
well, I mean, he did before, so what's to stop them from doing it all over again? There is a kill on the top lane. Surprise! Oh my god, we missed a big one, but we're not going to miss the one happening in mid lane. There's a stun from the Earthshaker. They've got the follow-up damage. Explodes should be going down, but the refraction comes up straight in time. Lina's TP is a bit too slow, and she doesn't have the mana to follow up. At the end of the day, TA not able to survive.
Ember Spirit coming out really ahead over here. One solo kill, one mixed kill with the help of the Earthshaker. This should be a very good game for the Ember Spirit.
Haste Rune, this could be a kill towards top as well. Look at how far Mars is pushed.
No supports on their side either. Lina will not have that TP even if she just decides to buy it.
Well, it was spotted out by the Orbs ward that is just planted by the Warlock and is dewarded by the Ember at the same time. And
oh, there we go. Once again, the initiation comes in. Like I said, haste runes can be troublesome, but it seems like UQ might have healed up the wrong person. Supports might need to be slightly more selfish at times.
Swan did decide to go for that Midas. So now it's going to be interesting to see who, you know, a lot of this tournament we've been struggling with this question. So, okay, the team has a particular lineup, so who exactly is going to be initiating?
No, I think Sven Midas is good, though. Like, I don't... I feel
they are
like,
behind, though.
yeah,
They
I know,
are
but Sven's
really
also the only person who's getting anything. I feel like with how far behind they are on some of their cores, Sven does need to do a lot more this game, and I don't feel like they'll be ready to fight for quite a while. So,
oh, Swan might just be going down in the bottom lane. Pandaswar did use his ultimate, and Swan is sort of low.
now he does have the heal, so tank ability comes out back
He is
up.
going to be...
I think what's important over there is that the brew split was used, and this allows the Radiant a little more breathe time. They know now that since that has been expanded, they can be a little more aggressive and not worry about a TP from a brew coming in to disrupt the team fight.
Nice stun from the Earthshaker, but a two-man Stormhammer will be just enough for him to disengage. That could have been a little bit more deadly, but as it turns out, the only thing Sven's going to have choked out of him is his farm.
A top lane might be a kill coming in if Lina decides to go. And I think this is a dead Lina.
Oh, that's an arena used as well. Interestingly enough, now Ursa does have his Enrage on, so that means that he won't take enough damage for any sort of a counter kill to be possible, but mid lane is where action might be happening.
Bottom tower is under attack.
That was a very good push by the spear into the tower range, and he was hoping to get enough damage on the Ursa, but unfortunately that did not transpire.
I want to give props to this Earthshaker because his fissures have been on point for most of the game.
Yeah.
I don't believe he's disadvantaged his team by his fissure a single time yet.
Well, speaking of
Bot lane?
disadvantaging his team, Sven dying would be a pretty big disadvantage, and a Bramble Maze will be coming through to help with that. Now, they don't have that much movement speed, so the question really comes in, is there going to be a TP in time? And it seems like the answer is no. This Willow does get the kill, and it is a very extended chase, and top lane, there's a stun coming out. I'm not sure if it interrupted any TPs. I'm surprised that there aren't any TPs at all, though. I mean, Mars could TP
Well,
over there.
Lina, before going down to the Ember Spirit over there in the arena battle, she did cancel her TP towards the bot lane.
No, she
her
had a
TP was
TP
on
on.
a 10-second cooldown.
Oh, okay, never mind. Fair enough.
Tower is under
Yeah, so she couldn't TP in, and even if she did, I mean, what could she possibly do?
I just thought Mars would have been a good TP over there because of the amount of trees to help with the spare.
Yeah, that is true. He might have actually ended up saving the Swan with the spear had he chosen.
Well, Lina will TP down bot now, and it looks like they want to get that brew. Everyone is converging on him.
Won't be an easy kill though, because Dark Willow's coming in from the side. Now she is going to be chased away by the sign of a Warlock. So it looks like there won't be any further engagements for now.
The ward right next to the trees was able to spot the Sven coming in for the brew, and then the Lina coming behind, and that allowed him to get away safely.
To be going for an Ether Lens. Now, I'm not sure if this is the right choice, and Eels or a 4-staff would have been much, much better. 4-staff especially, because you need to be saving your teammates.
Especially with the lack of mobility that they have. But bot lane actions happening. Terrorize comes in onto the Brewlings, but it is still Shroud who wants to start chucking out those fissures. Got the mana from his teammates, his arcane boots, and Sorrow's been caught out. Instead, the back lines is where Sven is trying to figure out what to do. The Ember Spirit is TPing in, so Sven could still be caught out. So keep that in mind. Sven, without the mana, without the TP scroll, without much to do, and Yikyu's Golem is not being microed right now, so it is going to be Blooda going down.
I am so glad Panda dodged that Laguna Blade. I don't know if you guys saw that,
did he?
but
player's middle tower.
yeah, he did. He would have died if he didn't dodge that.
Radiant's top tower.
Well, there you go. You've had your fantasy fulfilled. Oh, Arena using the top lane. There is an enrage available, but it seems like Ursa's overextended and it's a solo kill. That's a big one.
We don't really see.
For a second there, it didn't
solo
look
kill.
like the spear was gonna connect with the Ursa, but I think that was a bit wobbly, to be honest. The hitbox not really matching up there.
Earthshaker is going for that blink dagger, and he does seem to be fairly close to it. 1300 gold, only 700 gold away.
That's not
Slightly more expensive
yeah,
now.
it was never 2,000 gold.
No, it was 2150
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
I'm
No,
just
it's
not
way
good
It's
at
very
math,
bad at
okay?
maths. It's like 900.
My intentions are there.
This is why he's trying to become a doctor, guys. Rajput, ooh, dodging away, and he will be able to get himself to safety, courtesy of a beautiful fissure.
Again, Laguna Blade being dodged by that Enrage.
No, that's not a dodge. That's just reduced damage.
Under attack.
It's 80% reduced damage. The Laguna Blade is going to be doing what, like 100 damage after
Listen,
reduction? So.
I'm just saying, it's a lot more impressive when Brewmaster does it.
The timing has to be frame perfect, I believe.
Yeah. So I think 0.5 seconds, not frame perfect. Something like that. Bucky Shroud is turning things around with the Echo Slam, and they don't quite have the damage to follow up, which means that this should be a very easy arena kill. But as I say easy, it seems like the Terrorize will be enough to give them enough time to be able to keep on chasing. TA doesn't have refraction for another few seconds. She turns around, needed to use it, but will end up going down to the Earthshock. Instead, now it's the drums used, and they're in pursuit, and it is 4 kills for the Dire's side.
Neither of the heroes on the bot lane bothered to TP in, and it was a 4v4 engagement. I think we were there in the arena when the Willow Shadow round, and they wanted to actually go in on her. And because of that Shadow round, they kind of lost their target on whom they had bursted a bit, which made them a bit, which threw them off a bit from their engagement, allowing the other Dire members to come in and clean up the Radiant team.
That was a very nice call from Earthshaker. He decided that since there were 4 heroes just in range of his Echo Slam, he decided to engage upon them. Very big commitment, but Dark Willow did come in there.
Oh, look at that fissure. That might be the first one gone wrong all game long.
But that's okay. I think
Oh yeah,
he's been playing. He can
he's definitely been MVP for me so far.
The constant blocks on top lane, then bot,
Mid ganks
and
as
mid.
well.
They are about to reach their mark though. Their mark, what I'm referring to being Swen's dagger, even though it is far away. He is free farming.
Mid lane.
And Templar Assassin.
Desolator on her.
Yeah. So once Swen gets that blink dagger, that will be their timing. The timing they've been waiting for.
He's
all
going for
game.
BKB first though.
Dire are scanning.
Well, we might
That's
just
how
see him
it's
pick
cute.
up a blink dagger. I think they're gonna come to their senses and get that dagger.
Yeah, I mean a BKB is a very defensive item, and remember they actually have quite a few towers up as well. So this game is by no means out. Sven's Midas has helped him stay on top of the net worth shot, so even if TA is a little bit behind, they've got a chance in it.
T is spotted out.
Yeah, she is. But she's got herself a Desolator, so damage a little bit too much for the Ember to deal with.
It was fortunate that Lina was coming in from behind because the Earthshaker was moving up, and I believe if they didn't spot the Lina, they would have committed for that. And which
Earthshaker
might have,
does have his blink dagger, so this is going to be a very interesting engagement.
doesn't look like they want to smoke up for it though, or are they?
We've got
They are going to try and make something happen on the top lane or the mid lane, depending.
Well, looks like TA is actually ready to start heading down towards mid itself, but as I say that, it's none of the lanes, Stella. It is indeed the Roshan. Now, TA's got a side trap in there, so at the very least they're going to be aware of this happening. Rajput very low as well, so if they can get an engage, that would be big. The question is, do they have a smoke? Yes, they do. And in they go. They've used a slow, and Rajput doesn't quite have a blink tag up and ready. Terrorize will come in, perfectly placed, but an arena will trap back the Earthshaker before he can use his ultimate, and he is down and out. That blink dagger will not matter, and it seems like this should just be a easy Roshan kill with that Desolator. But remember, Ember Spirit's still here. He can still start to use those Sleight of Fist, make it very difficult. They don't have detection. Oh my god, no. Ember, you can't do it like this. Ember's going to try to steal the Roshan away, and he might even be able to do it. Now, YQ, he's not very good at microing that golem, I'm not going to lie. Ember gets it. Oh, but the die gets the kill, and TA gets the Aegis. Lots of experience going the way of the Dire's side, but it seems like they'll be fine with this on Radiant.
Oh, the Brewmaster actually going down in his ulti, or at least when the ulti was just expended.
Yeah, this is not the easiest of places to be in for the Radiant side, though, as they are going to be blanked upon. Drugs chucks that Ursa straight back where he came from. The blink dagger will not matter. The Searing Chains are missed, but there's the blink. Oh my god, that's a big one. That is a big one.
Fortunately, though, they are able
Made
to
up.
keep the Aegis.
Radiant's middle
That's
He more than made up for his mistake in the Rosh Pit. Earthshaker should not have gone in there. He should have expected that arena to be coming out.
I mean, I think he blinked into the arena.
Yeah, well, I mean, he shouldn't have been blinking in because I think it came around the same time because the arena was going to be used on the Ursa there.
Fair enough. I just thought he was trying to be defensive inside the arena to prevent the Ursa from immediately just dying. But it was very nicely placed spare from Mars, to be honest. I just think that teamfight would have gone very differently unless Mars had, unless Mars had successfully isolated the Earthshaker away from the fight.
Yeah, and
Oh,
had
they spot the
Sandra
TA.
had
Well, I mean, she does have the Aegis. She's not the easiest kill to get, but if they can take that away, that in itself is big. Now her meld is gone, and they will be counted in upon. There's the arena. He's able to remnant straight out of it. The drums will allow him to get away as well.
very
That
fast
was a
reaction
beautiful
coming
blink
out
by.
from Ursa. Yeah, exactly as Ram is pointing out. Very beautiful blink by Ursa.
As soon as that arena popped, he blinked out.
Oh, he's in! They're going, and they are going to be gone. Die side, I mean, what can you do when you've got yourself a double searing chain on your heroes and Ursa blinking in to just take you all down?
They did have that nice little observer ward that did help them to create all of that in the first place.
They've had that for a long time. I'm surprised it hasn't been de-warded yet.
I mean, it should be now that they know.
I mean, and now it's almost gone, unfortunately.
It's like the Sven is gonna go for that BKB. And like, none of the
Stun.
heroes want to
Oh,
go for.
okay. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, guys. This might not have been the best decision you've ever made in your life, but hey, all right.
Well, I mean, that was
That's a
very
thing.
nice bait, I suppose. I mean, I don't know what to say about that, but it was definitely a nice something.
It was a nice something. Yeah. Not gonna lie, I'm pretty sure it was just very good fortune. Speaking of very good fortune, Lena's got none of it because she's been bashed up and she's down. Now, fortunately for them, they do get the Earthshaker kill. Terrorize doesn't come out just quite yet, but there is a great arena onto few. Ursa should be going down regardless of the enrage, and now it all comes down to what Ember can do. And it seems like he can run away.
It seemed like a trade coming out. The Ursa jumping on the Lina, and Lina wanted to cancel the Blink Dagger on Earthshaker there, allowing the Ursa to jump on the Lina and the TA to jump on the Earthshaker. And since the Earthshaker was dead, we saw that in the team fight, they were not able to come out on top. And I think that's what they need to focus on, the Radiant. They want the Earthshaker to go down, or they want to single out the Earthshaker before the team fight, or maybe even pick him off, right? And for that, they might want to consider warding the jungle and catching out the Earthshaker en route to any of the lanes.
has fallen.
Yeah, I think a lot of Radiant strategy relies on how efficiently Mars can place out his arena. Most of their successful fights that we've seen have been based off of that.
Is under attack.
Meanwhile,
Yeah,
Swan
because-
does seem to have his BKB up, and Templar seems to be making it. So that is their next turning point. They absolutely need their BKB, and once they do get their BKB, it's going to be very difficult for Dire to actually play against it because most of their damage is magic at this point.
What do you do as an Earthshaker? I mean, Rama, you were just talking about this. He's so effective in a team fight. He's so good at making sure that they're consistently controlled. When the BKBs come out, that's 3 BKB usages, 10, 8, 9. 10, 9, 8 rather, which is where Earthshaker has a very hard time. It just does expire though. Oh, they want to go in as the Aegis expires maybe, but look at Mars. His positioning has been... He's had a good recovery ever since the laning phase was as rough as it was.
Yeah, and his arenas have been on point, and his spears as well. We saw him miss out on a lot of spears in the laning phase, spears which might have actually saved lives, but he does seem to be doing a lot better now.
He's picked it up, you know.
Lina does skip out on that Ether lens.
Oh, they might be going in. TA is just blinked forward. She doesn't have that for a while. Now they don't have a blink, but instead they've got a long range Fisher Arena to bring things back. Ember's been pushed up, but they've used it on the wrong player. It is the Brewlings that will be falling down, but they've got themselves Magic Community on the Earth one, so it will be able to get away to safety. Both teams expending a couple of big ultis, but it seems like it will be Dark Willow who is the casualty. Miss Spear once again, and mid lane is where further action's happening. EQ is down. Templar Assassin should be next. Here is Sven though. God Strength already active. Blink Dagger ready, and in he goes. He's got the BKB, not using it just quite yet. Might have needed it, and the ulti on Brewmaster does practically nothing. Great chaos offering from the Warlock. Will be able to catch out a few, but it just doesn't seem enough. It still is just a Sven being kited away, and he can't do anything. A buyback from the Templar Assassin will lead to a dieback, and that might even be game.
What was interesting is that the Sven went on the Brew even though his ulti was expended. I would have expected him to go on something like an Earthshaker who was yet to expend his ultimate. And other than that, he came to the fight really, really late.
Huge setback coming in for the side of Templar Assassin. She had her BKB, but she decided to buy back, and then she ended up dying.
Yeah, this is...
And again, we've talked about this multiple times. The Radiant lineup is entirely dependent on Mars and his arena. So once that fails, they don't really
speaking of that arena, they're going back into it, and they don't really have much damage to follow through. So Mars might just end up going down. He's been 4-staff out for now, so still have got themselves a chance to defend their Raxes, and it seems like they'll be successful. But Roshan is going to be spawning soon. Maybe it is. We'll have to wait to see.
We're not really up with the Ether Lens pick on Lina, but I feel like that's actually gonna help her a lot, right? Since she did go the plus 25 cast range in her talents, and paired with the Ether Lens, she's gonna have so much distance between the team fights to throw out her abilities. I think it's really worth it.
I think especially when you're... I think, Abdullah, I know that the Aether Lens is something that you were opposed to earlier on, but at this point where you're potentially going to be defending high ground, long range on the stump can help a lot.
Yeah, but I think a 4-stop is much more useful. I mean, we have seen Warlock go for it, but it wouldn't hurt to have 2 4-stops or even an Use. An Use would be massive for their team. I mean, you stop the Ember in his tracks, you stop the Earthshaker in his tracks, Panda blinks in, you can use him up. Just so much utility that Lina can get just from one single item. I don't think the Ether Lens should be a priority. Yeah.
Well, the Brewmaster himself didn't go for a Blink Dagger first. He did go for that a bit tanky build with the Vlads and
just to push up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one way to kind of negate the fact that Ursa's bad at breaking high ground, I suppose.
Actually, none of the people on the Dire team are good at breaking high ground, I guess. Until and unless they want to...
I think Brew's actually pretty good. Like, Brew's one of the...
Oh, yeah, sorry. With his... Yeah. With his Brewling, he does massive amounts of damage. I forgot.
Yeah.
They are all smoked up, and they are going towards the enemy team, but it doesn't seem that they're going to catch them. I think they're going to be just happy taking this tier 2 doublet.
They reveal themselves, they're fine with this. They do have a chance to take down the Shrine as well, so further map control to be removed.
Yeah, they did have a ward placed in the Radiant team base, and I guess they should have, when they went into the jungle and they saw no one, I suppose that they would like want to push towards top, where since at that part of the map they didn't see any enemy heroes, you know, process of elimination.
Radiant side. It's going to be able to scout all of them coming over. I really like this one. It's great to see the rotations.
More of a Hail Mary Observer ward coming in, because they are so far behind.
I think this is a really good one. It lets you see whenever they're coming up towards the top lane if you're trying to take control of their jungle. This is that's a very good ward. Well, speaking of very good, this isn't a very good circumstance to be stuck in because they will be turned around upon. BKB from the Sven. He's got damage, but it isn't enough to take down the rulings. And instead he turns towards Dark Willow, who's just so incredibly difficult to keep a track of. And this is just it. They've all just gone down. Ursa will be able to get himself that triple kill. I mean, this game looks over.
Bad positioning coming out from the Radiant side. They were just all caught out over there. All of their heroes, 2 of their heroes somewhere else, 2 of their heroes somewhere else. That's not how a 5-man lineup should be sticking together.
I'm honestly really surprised because they did have vision.
They did have vision, but they got double-minded, I believe, since they wanted to take out the Earthshaker, and they did expend the Arena of the Blood, and TA jumped in with the Earthshaker. Unfortunately, they were not able to kill him in the duration of the stun, and TA did not bother to pop that BKB to dodge the Echo in the beginning, which allowed the Ursa to pump in enough damage to both the the Mars, and
Ares.
the Tia. Yeah, he is a god of war, isn't he?
He is. Yes, he is. Anyhow.
The reason I don't like those 2 wards over there is because they're too aggressive. When you're really behind, you want to be placing defensive map vision, which will allow you to defend better, but it seemed like they wanted to go for, we might as well try it, might as well get a few kills, try to get ahead. It didn't seem to work out.
It's one of those things that was considered older on as, as an older principle, like, hey, if you've lost control of your jungle, let's try to see if you can get some farm in theirs. And I felt like that's kind of what their worlds were leading into. Just like you said, a bit of a Hail Mary to see if they can get a kill, but with the net worth difference being as high as it is, I feel like it is time for them to go for a Hail Mary.
One more thing, have you noticed how well an Ursa does when you skip some Midas?
Okay, in all fairness, this was a very specific game. We'll have to wait to see. I mean, before I make that call.
For that Hail Mary you guys are speaking about, do you guys reckon it would be around the Roshan? Since they are gonna have the proper vision from the Radiant side, thanks to the TA ward.
It looks like
they are all smoked up though, so they might be going towards Roshan.
Maybe it's it. Maybe that's what Rama is saying. Maybe it's time for Rama to just say, hey, you know what? I am an oracle. I know everything. I am all-seeing and all-knowing. And the question is it Isa? Oh my God, he's used God's Strength. Seriously? Seems a bit much.
And he didn't even pop it during the start.
Yeah.
I guess they just want to not allow the Dire team to have this Roshan and use the Sages to farm up and close that 20k gold lead that the Dire team has been able to pull out.
I'm just kind of surprised.
I think they need to give this cheese to someone who can not keep it on his bonus slot, like the Xeno or the Warlock. If you give it to the Warlock, that means that his golem, if his positioning is correct, will go off if he has that cheese.
I mean, I think this is really just more of a, hey, Sven, put your Midas away now, put your cheese in, you've got this, Sven.
What? Do they not see the Ursa?
They do, but they think there's more people behind them. Smoked up.
No, but they have 2 wards.
So they think they're smoked
alright,
up.
maybe if they should have seen their Earthshaker in the jungle, to be honest, and they should have committed on that Ursa. They had the vision that the Earthshaker wasn't there.
Ursa's
I mean,
really
they need to
tanky,
commit
though.
everything to get
really
that kill.
tanky.
They need to commit the Golem, the Arena, Laguna, everything. And it just wouldn't be worth it, because once you kill that Ursa, there are 4 people who are going to be coming into your base.
Well, that's true.
They do have that Aegis though, and what this Aegis does is, at the very least, is going to buy them some time, time to farm, time to reconcile their strategies, go for plan B, or I think at this point, plan C, and try to make something happen. And Dire, I think they're gonna wait out this Aegis before they go in. They know that they're way ahead in the game.
I feel like that's not true. I really feel like that's not true. Look at the Ursa. He's just saying, hey, you can't kill me. You can't kill me. Even if you know exactly where my teammates are, you still can't kill me. That's just frustrating for the Radiant side.
Too damn Omano.
Sven does have his Daedalus, and remember, Mars has come out with some very good arenas, and when he does come out with them, the Radiant side seem to be dominant. So it doesn't matter how far ahead they are, Sven with his ultimate and a Daedalus can really pack a punch.
You know, I'm interested to see whether he goes for the stun duration talent, because that could be very good against the Dire side. They don't have that many people who want to build a BKB. I mean, Ursa is going for one, but you know, Ember is not one of those. Obviously, Brewmaster could go for one, but right now he is just choosing to go for the Blink Dagger. The Stormhammer duration could be a big game changer, especially like you said, with the Daedalus. You can maybe you can get yourself off quite a bit.
Yeah, but the Brewmaster has picked himself a Halberd, and that is going to be negating a lot of damage from the Sven or the TA, whomsoever he chooses to disarm.
Tala, I think
there is a smoke coming up.
Tala, I think the Dire side has been listening to you. They've gone Halberd and they went Blink Dagger first, but right now they're going in first onto this. Oh my god, he's so much damage! Oh! Sven's Daedalus, baby! That's what that hero does.
And you guys were talking about you want to throw a golem and arena and this and
he
that.
didn't have Daedalus then, okay?
Yeah, he didn't.
He did.
Not when Ursa was bashing in. No, he didn't. Oh my god, they might be able to get this done as well. There's one more crit. Why is this guy so good with crits? This is just.
Oh my god.
This is it. This is the comeback. This is Sven. He's gonna make it happen.
This is the
I believe.
This is what we were talking about. It doesn't matter if you're 20.
We were talking about this.
I was talking about it. It doesn't matter because when you're hit for 1000 HP, you know you're gonna be dying there.
I really hope he doesn't go for the strength in God Strength. If he goes for the 1.25 second duration, that would be massive. Now the question is, how many seconds does he have on a 8-second beat? That's really good. For this late into the game, 8-second BKB is really surprisingly good.
Well, they are gonna let the bottom creeps to bash in their buildings.
There's no buyback. There's no buyback for the Ember Spirit. That's interesting.
I think they need
Dire
to
have
remember.
very good base defense. Dire have an Earthshaker, one of the best heroes for base defense.
It's true.
Yeah, especially since he has an Aghanims, he can jump in and out like he feels like. Even though that fight, they were able to pick off the Ursa and the Ember, two big cores on the Dire team. They were not able to really take objectives off of it, which is really disheartening for the Radiant, I guess. They now have to still, again, turtle and close that gap lead, even if the Sven is hitting for 1k damage. If he gets Halberd during the fight, that is not going to go anywhere until and unless he BKBs after disarm. I believe that removes
no, that
it.
doesn't. Oh, there's smoke right underneath
that
the ward.
removed?
It does. That was removed a couple of patches ago, like a long time ago, actually, like a year ago. They smoked under a ward though, so they know exactly what's going on from the Radiant side. I really don't know about this decision to actually smoke when Ursa doesn't even have buyback, regardless of the circumstances. Now, thankfully for them, they find that ward and they're able to de-ward it immediately afterwards. They're like, okay, fine, let's just go back to farming. But smoking up without buyback this late into the game, that could be deadly.
Well, I'm not sure if Dire are expecting that they need the Ursa to defend their base. Because they do have quite a bit of wave there, you know, Dark Willow, Earthshaker, Ember Spirit, who has a Radiant Shivas. They can just clear the waves very easily.
Okay, I'm kind of undecided about this, and I'd love to get you guys' take on it. The Aghanim Scepter is what Lena's trying to build up, and it just feels to me that that's just... It's an item that needs so much gold to get. It's very good when you actually get it, don't get me wrong. The ulti being pure damage does a lot more to the Ursa, and just generally helps out a lot more against, you know, just getting the early burst down, but it's very hard to actually farm up.
Well, when you look at the Ursa and Enrage and a BKB, I think you want that guaranteed burst damage that will bring him down at least half a health, and have the Sven then bash him for that half a health, and hopefully he just disappears off of the game.
He needs to get it first. That's the problem.
This is the final fight that we'll be seeing. Should Dyer win?
Should Dyer win. But that's not guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination. This fight really comes down to the Brewmaster, who again, without a Blink Dagger, it's going to be very hard to get the halberd off before Sven BKBs.
Does it no longer go through BKB as well?
No, it doesn't. You could never halberd a BKB target.
You used to be able to.
No.
I remember.
I am 90% sure that wasn't a thing. I think you might be confusing the mechanics.
You were saying something.
Dala's saying nothing because right now they're saying they want to go in onto this Mars. He's got the arena, but they've got the counter initiation. Mars uses up the cheese and he wants to start bashing into the Ursa. Ursa's BKB has run out and instead they've gone on the Ember Spirit. The question is, can they get the follow-up? And yes, they can. They can bring him down immediately. Double kill coming up for the Sven. And that means that they're forced to back off immediately. Ursa might not be able to. The upheaval is so much slow. He's going to be forced to go down as well. And this is an Ursa without buyback. This is an Ursa who does so much damage. And this is an Ursa who would have loved to get that next Aegis that's going to be coming up in just a bit, 30 seconds, and that's such an untimely place to take that fight.
That was so crucial. That was very well played by the Radiant. If you guys notice, there is an observer board placed right outside of their base, right where Sven decided to go in on that Earthshaker, stunning two heroes, and with his God Strength was able to take them down. Which meant that Dyer, they couldn't, they were all over the place. They couldn't save anyone, they couldn't target anyone. Very well played.
Yeah, especially with the Ember jumping in that deep and Mars holding that cheese till the last moment, and right as he noticed that the Ember had committed a bit too hard, he popped that arena and followed it up with a spear. And then if you would have noticed that the Lina with the increased range was able to close that gap. Exactly. So that prioritization of that Aether Lens, I think, paid off at that last fight.
No, Sven could be caught out. He doesn't have much, but they've got the arena in the background. Now, unfortunately for them, they don't really catch anyone, but you know what? Maybe this works out anyway. They've got the Arcane Rune, reduces the cooldown. That's probably why he just wanted to throw it out once, just to see if it could force out any buybacks.
MKB on the side of Templar Assassin looks like they're going for all-out damage. Just like how much damage could you output, and would it be enough to take them down within a second? Because you extend the team fight, you give the Dyer the advantage, and I think Radiant know that.
Honestly, I think I really, don't get me wrong, I really like this Scythe build. It's one of my favorite itemizations, but something I would have actually thought might help them. No, never mind, that's a dumb item. I was thinking maybe a Hurricane Pike might help them quite a lot, but I don't. Scythe is really good. Scythe is just really, really good.
Well, Hurricane Pike has one benefit. It will allow the TA to hit the tower.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking of. The fidget. Oh my god, dude. That's a lot of damage. It does.
Yeah, I couldn't drag that.
I mean, I saw it, but I thought there would be some sort of a response at the very least. But hey, turns out there isn't one. They might end up having to buy back. They do have Warlock having a buyback as well, so that'll come through as well. Great arena, and Sven's here to save the day. Immediately Ursa goes down again, and we're seeing what happens late game to Ursas. They just seem like they don't matter, and instead now they're trying to find the Brewlings as well. Brewlings will be able to get away to safety. Earthshake is still yet to use his ultimate, will want to go in soon, but he is already caught out by the Sven. Fortunately for him though, that cleave wasn't able to spread right to him. Great stun coming out from the Mars will allow them to get the Willow as well, and Sven and Mars are still chasing. Mars with another Blink Dagger could maybe find the Ember Spirit, but Ember with the Aghanim's ultimate is able to back off very quickly. Fantastic team fight yet again because of that ward that Thala talked about. What? Oh, I didn't think they'd catch him.
Yeah, that 1.5 second, 1.5 second melt bash cancelled that TP, and after that the TA was just on the brew until the Mars came in and helped out with the kill.
Sven does go for the Stormhammer stun duration. No, not the Stormhammer, the other one. Not the one I wanted. It's a lot of damage though, so I kind of see why he would go for that.
You know what would be a really good item for this one?
An
Aghanim.
Okay, I was going to say refresher.
Giving Templar that God strength as well would just be outrageous.
That would help with breaking high ground.
Never refuse gold given.
Not even just the TA, the Lina also hits pretty hard with her fairy axe.
I mean, I think Nina's good at taking down towers too, because of long range and, you know, the additional speed. So I guess I see where you're coming from, but you know, obviously TA is the big one that you want to get. Oh my god, TA is the big one that they have gotten. She does use up her BKB, not in time. No, she doesn't. I thought they could kill the Ursa.
No, I mean, she has. The TA has the Aegis, so.
I know, but I just thought they could kill the Ursa because they knew Terrorize. Oh, they've gone in with the Earthshaker Echo Slam, but they've got the turnaround immediately. Earthshaker's down, forced to use his buyback. Brewmaster will be back as well, but he takes so long, and they've already lost the tier 3. Brewmaster, does he have his ultimate? Yes, he does. Ember Spirit coming in from long range, trying to pursue up. They won't be able to find this TA who's been glimmered and can blink back. Can they re-engage? Doesn't look like they want to. They've got creeps inside their base.
Radiant's middle tower.
That was just so much damage coming out. Yeah, that was just so much damage coming out from the Radiant. And it was perfectly played by the TA, I believe. She walked out, she dodged the Echo Slam with a BKB. And right as the Earthshaker was dying, the Ember wanted to jump in, and then he got caught by the Sphere of the Mars, which allowed the Radiant team to focus him down as well.
Very interesting part of the game. Remember, we were talking about a 20k gold lead, and if you guys notice, it's just down to 4k now. 4k gold lead in 46 minutes doesn't mean anything, because now you have 3 heroes who committed their buyback, and should they die, that would be a very, very fast throne from the Radiant side. So now the game is pretty much even, despite the loss of 2 barracks.
Now, there could be a nice little power spike coming through as soon as Ursa gets that level 25. Probably wants to go for the
I think the players can hear you guys.
But that Aghanim's upgrade.
What? The players can hear us?
Yeah, because Sven went for the refresher orb. Maybe if I wish for a divine rip here on the Ember, he was gonna get it.
No, refresher is really good for him, to be honest. It's just he has mana issues, which is the only problem, so he'll need a couple of teammates. Oh, they're going in, TA. That is ambitious, but you've got an Aegis, so why not just do what you can to try and get the re-engage. Ursa going down would be massive. He does have buyback. He's the only core on the Dire side with it. But it seems like... No, actually, never mind. I think Brewmaster has buyback as well.
Yeah, Willow, Ember Spirit, and Earthshaker do not have buyback.
What's unfortunate is though is... Yeah,
going
sorry,
for
go ahead.
that Ethereal Blade. Interesting pick, but you know.
Okay, guys, hear me out, alright? This is gonna sound a little bit silly, but just hear me out. I want to see
Everything gets silly out of your
a Guardian's Reeve on this fan.
Why though?
Because he has so many... He's going to have so many mana issues with the Refresher. Like, it's fine while you have the cheese, but Refresher just makes it so much more difficult. And it's also... Like, it's not like any of his supports are going to be able to make them. And they're quite useful for going up high ground.
You know what's going to be really interesting? That next Roshan, which will be coming with that Aghanim's upgrade. So.
Right, that's true actually. That could be the Aghanim Scepter you were talking about for Sven, Tala.
Or the Warlock, I mean, double golems.
That's true. Well, you know, oh, TA missed a belt strike. This could be big. This might mean they're not able to get the kill as the Ember Spear Remnant straight away. The missed melt strike coming back to bite them. 1.5 seconds could have been a really big deal there.
Yeah, the Ember also dodged that Laguna, I believe.
He had
I don't think that hit him.
He had his thing on.
Or was it
they're going to go high ground because they realize the Dark Willow does not have that buyback. A very important hero missing on the side of the Dire. It's going to be interesting to see how they try to defend this.
They can try to block the path with the Earthshaker right from the start, but it doesn't look like he's in position. He is back, fountain.
Ember's even TPing. So that's 3 seconds of his free hits coming out onto these barracks. These barracks should be just down and out. They might not even want to defend these, to be honest. Beautiful positioning from the Radiant side, and yes, they go in on the TA, but does she have it? She doesn't have the Aegis. She's able to BKB, but she might not be able to get away to safety. They're trying to go in on her. She barely gets away with 90 HP, and that means that the Sven has to turn around and keep doing this damage. Blink in from the Echo Slam. Earthshaker will be able to keep him locked down for just a little while longer. The Cyclone comes through on him, but they aren't able to get anything from the Dire side except for a, well, actually, it's pretty important, successful defense. That's anticlimactic.
We can see just how important support heroes are in this stage of the game. I mean, Warlock, if he had not used that Glimmer Cape on that Templar assassin would have died without the Aegis.
I'm surprised she was
Yeah, but this is why I'm sort of confused with this Lina's choice of builds, because they don't need 4 cores on their team. They need 2 supports.
I think
right.
I think Lina's fine now, Della. I think like, it's just this helps you so much up against whatchamacallit,
BKB and Enrage.
Yeah, BKB and Enrage. Ursa basically, and Ursa's already becoming so much of a non-factor. You kind of want to keep him that way. I don't even think this is like Lina building as a core. I just feel like this is Lina saying, hey, I am going to support in the one way where we can disable the Ursa.
We do see a smoke coming out.
Bot lane is pushing.
I believe they're moving towards Roshan, but they don't know that Roshan is not up quite. Still quite a bit of time before Roshan comes up.
They look like they're going in towards... I mean, they don't have vision, so I'm not sure where they're trying to go. Do they have a scan? They have a scan. They haven't used it though. If they kick down the Dark Willow, that would be a big deal, but the bot lane is pushing in. TA, she's revealed that she has herself a Scythe of Ice. And the pings are coming up. They realize bot lane pushing in. Ursa, oh my god, dude, Ursa's got a Desolator, guys.
Ursa had that for a very long while.
No, but you know what that means? That means he can just backdoor that throne if the creeps get there and they're trying to fight in.
I think that's what he was looking for, to be honest. He was staying there for a very long while.
Sven probably wants to push out one more wave, to be honest, because that would give them just enough time to know whether Roshan is respawning soon enough for them to go for it or not. And the next one's big. You don't want to let the... What does Dark Willow Aghanims do?
She can attack during her Shadow Realm and it won't go off until the end of duration. Basically, all her attacks during the Shadow Realm are...
Right, the extra damage, yes.
Yeah.
If she gets a level 25 plus 175 attack speed, maybe. But Terrorize is just such an important spell.
We should see Sven consuming an Aghanims at this point. A lot of gold. He's carrying for no reason.
Or a Hyperstone. Not the Hyperstone, the Moonshot, sorry.
Yeah, the Moonshot will be pretty good as well.
Yeah.
What does...
Due to 2 barracks down on the Radiant, they aren't really able to push with full committal. Every time they go, they want to poke and then come back, because 2 of their rares are always pushing in until unless they decide to go down mid distance.
We're almost reaching a crucial point in the game. That gold lead, which was 20,000, is now just under 1,000. So both teams being square even.
I mean, it doesn't really matter right now for them, but I'm more interested to see exactly how they want to, pursue further itemization on the Dire side, because this Ember, magic damage has been good, like for the early part of the game. Do you still want to go there? Do you maybe want to start transitioning to something a little bit more where, you're better at defending high ground, you're better at just making sure you've got some right click damage too? Honestly,
I think this is where he goes Divine Rapier.
I think someone goes Divine this game.
I hope so.
The Ember, the Swan with the Divine could actually be quite massive.
Okay. Roshan will be back in 20 seconds, and that's a very long respawn time, but they'll be able to get vision of it with the new trap that they have just set. Earthshaker with that
Ember Spirit is going for that Octarine core, and this is the problem that I'm seeing. We were talking about that Ursa who just generally becomes not as effective in the late game. Ember Spirit, there's two.
Oh no, look at this. Look at this. Ursa could be caught out. They know exactly where he is. If they blink in, he's dead. They've got themselves a Hex. They've got themselves a stun. They've got themselves a dead Ursa. But there is a turnaround. But it's 3 people in the arena. Sven just wants to right click them all down. But he can't get close enough to the Ember to be able to do that. Ember is just guiding him away. There is a buyback up and ready on the Earthshaker. But will it matter? Mars might end up going down over here as well. They've got the BKB out. They want to be able to take them all down. TA can't fight back. The Abyssal Blade before the Refraction or the Glimmer Cape can come out, and it is another kill. It is so long gone. 125 seconds each. Even the Lina should be going down. The Yule Scepter will guarantee it, and it's 4 dead. And buybacks will be forced if they want to contest this Roshan.
Sven refreshed in that fight, but unfortunately after that refresh he had no mana for a Stormhammer or a ulti, like you talked about. And this is again the last fight, as previously talked about by Talha, until and unless it is again not the Dire who gets up top.
I mean, I'm surprised they didn't want to go for Roshan, but they're initiating already. They've got the Stormhammer on 2. That's all they need to make sure that this team fight is a 1-1, because now it is just going to be the Dark Willow saying goodbye, and now it is just going to be Roshan potentially going the way of the Radiant side, unless this Ember wants to buy back, and it looks like even that might not matter. The Panda and Brewmaster is down and out. 4 players on the sidelines. Roshan guaranteed to be taken by the Radiant side.
Who do you give that Aghanim?
I don't know what Tia Aghanim does. Honestly, like,
she can teleport to her trap.
What?
Yeah, she teleports to her trap.
That's really cool.
At least that's what I believe.
What is a Mars?
I don't know. I don't know all of these new Aghanims.
His second ability becomes really low, 1.4 second cooldown, and I think it increases damage. Not sure.
Okay, so this Warlock is going to be picking that Aghanim's.
And the Refresher Shard.
Come on. You see that Aghanim's Warlock?
Okay, Aghanim's Warlock comes out. Refresher Shard 2.
But there's 50 seconds on his ulti. They might want to wait it out, so that the refresher
I think they're just trying to force
dividend.
out buybacks right now, because they've got to be really careful. It's a DD on an Ursa and an invisibility rune. That's such a bad combination for them. They're not going to have vision. They don't have a gem on any of their players. Ursa could just come in from the back lines, take down the Warlock before he even has a chance to use his ultimate, before he even has a chance to use that refresher orb. So they've got to be careful. Ursa, though, with the invis running out, is forced to initiate. They're going in, but they don't have detection on their own selves either. The sentry wards will not matter, even if you put down 2 of them.
Oh, Warlock has that Aghanim's and that Refresher Orb. Those are going to be 4.
That's what we've been talking about right now, Talha. What are you, like, are you not paying attention to what we're saying?
We've been talking about the Refresher, we're talking about that Aghanim's. But now he has a Refresher. And Sven has 11,000.
Sven needs mana though, man.
Sven can make a Moonshard and an Aghanim's, and you still have gold for buyback. Like, he should do something with those.
I don't think he's got that much. I think he can get a Moonshard
He
though.
doesn't have.
Yeah, he can
You
get
can just get the
that's
either the
not
Moonshard or the Aghanim's upgrade.
Honestly, I say you get a Moonshot, sell your Echo Saber, get yourself something for mana, man. If you're going to stick to the Refresher. Oh, back lines. Interesting Golems drop. Don't know what that was all about, but it turns out it's a Ursa that they're trying to catch. He is able to blink away. Do they have vision for the storm? Yes, they do. Do they want to? Oh, Ursa! He's gonna be scouted out. Unfortunately, those creeps will be betraying him. Do they have anything to be able to block this? It doesn't look like they do. TA was too far away. Lots of space.
Okay, this TA's level 25 challenge, the 1.5 second meld hit bash work through BKB.
Yeah. Bash has always worked to BKB.
Sven should really be spending his gold here. I mean, that Echo Saber, that's an early game item that he's still.
It's very good for that Daedalus, to be honest, but it's just more. I just feel like if you have the Refresher, go for something that gives you mana. Even if it's a Yasha
I
plus
mean,
Kaya.
until and unless he gets 2 crits, off of that Echo Saber, I guess that will be worth keeps it.
That Aghanim's upgrade would give him that mana required.
Oh right, actually I forgot. I forgot if you eat the Aghs, you still get it. That's true. That is true.
Brown is such an annoying spell to fight against.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. Especially when there's a Terrorize that's just constantly being cancelled in the back lines. I'm so curious to see.
I'm not sure why Radiant are all holding on to their gold. I mean, none of them have buyback, so they should really be spending it.
Actually, you're right.
Mars 4,000, Warlock 3,000. Like, just spend your gold, man.
Sven is the only person on the Radiant side who has buyback, so I guess.
Yeah, and he's holding 13,000 gold.
Hey. They're
Bounty!
they're-
He missed the bounty! No!
He has so much gold, he doesn't even care about that bounty room, man.
Well, he should care about his other teammates. Especially the 60-minute and 55-minute bounty rooms.
Maybe a pipe would be nice on the Mars to try and go high ground.
He has gotten himself that moon shard, he should be consuming it and getting another item, but he seems to want to keep the moon shard.
Why the Adamant's
Interesting
upgrade?
choices.
It gives you,
Everyone needs to remember.
I mean, it does
that
give you
at this point of
vision.
the game, what gives you vision?
Like the moon shard, yeah.
Moon shard?
Like the 400 extra night vision. I mean, I don't think it's...
You still get it, but it's reduced
yeah,
when
it's
you need
reduced,
it.
but I mean, I'm not saying I think they use the glyph. They use the glyph for the tier 2, seriously? Are they just trying to base race this? That might not be the best of
They
decisions.
don't win that.
Like,
Yeah, I don't think they win that best.
I mean, they might win it, to be honest. They don't have to deal with tier 4s, but I don't know if that's the safest of bets to go for right now. Sven has used his BKB up. He's been halberded. Hex on Hex action. It's Porky DOTA. And Templar. I mean, this is a complete stalemate, but the problem is that with the creeps pushing in on bot lane, Radiant needs to initiate beautiful terrorize onto 3 people, and now there comes out the Brewlings. They were waiting for the Aegis to expire. Now 2 of the players already down from the Radiant side. This is a very anticlimactic fight coming through, and although they're trying to fight back as best as they can, the Sven's already made his way out. Sven, you really want to get back to base, man, trust me. Oh, this might be it. This is game.
Cancelled.
They've got everything they could possibly need. And now Sven, never mind, the secondary TP comes through. And now he has to really just start pounding away on those creeps to make sure none of these Boots of Travels can come in and just take him down immediately. That was so close.
Well, I mean, no one has buyback. Everyone just has a lot of gold. So, I'm not sure.
You really
I'm not
want
sure.
that gold, spend it.
I know. I want that gold spended. It's like, you know, even if you're 6 slot, it doesn't mean you can't capitalize on those items.
That's definitely true. I think we're reaching the point of where everyone just starts buying Necrobooks and sending it.
We're
to
reaching the point where Radiant just loses because they don't have heroes, but it seems like they might not need heroes. Just one hero might be enough, but it seems like that's just a misconception on my part. He doesn't have God strength. Okay, mate, you want to use that refresher orb, please use the refresher orb before you go back in. 8 seconds is too long to wait. A BKB comes out from Mars, and if he's going to wait for this out, oh my god. He needs a BKB. He's just going to die like this. This is a big mistake coming in after such a beautiful game coming out from this Sven. He's going to be chain stunned up. He's going to be brought down. He just can't do anything in this circumstance. And that should be game. GG will be called. It will be the police to go to the finals. Is it? Okay, never mind. Alright, GG is called. Okay. Ooh. That was a good game.
That was a good game. A bit lackluster towards the end, but very well played by both teams. Both teams at one point or the other looked like they were going to take this game home, but the police do come out on top.
As they very often do. Some interesting decisions here and there. Sometimes gold was not spent. Sometimes certain items might have been different to what we thought, but I have to say Radiant played that beautifully, being able to come back the way they did. I mean, if you look over towards the graphs right now, it is just such a sudden turn back towards them. XP, net worth, everything's just going their way at the end, but they still aren't able to win it out. That being said, We're going to be back with the finals very soon. This is Tea Time Tartarus and Grimheart, and we'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
डर से भागना क्या गेम से डरना क्या The game is in you, the arena's waiting for you Let out your war cry, तू जीत के दिखा डर के आगे आ दुनिया को competition We're in this to win this No mistakes now One wrong move You're out of the game They're screaming your name so tell me Are you game?
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
Wow, thanks a lot, man.
10 seconds
You don't have to tell me that. You don't have to tell me about it.
5 seconds remaining.
We don't see a Willow or a Mars ban, so one of those teams should be picking those heroes up.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Mars and Willow is going to be a really strong combination, especially in the arena if you terrorize, and then the people are just going to be walking into the wall. That is going to be really fun to see if that is. Why are you hitting yourself? Stop hitting yourself.
Team pick.
Mareska has
Oh,
arrived.
the Willow is picked. Let us see if Mars is picked or not.
Yeah, but they did see just what Mars could do. So they should either be very wary of the hero or they should be picking that hero.
Well,
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Well, to be fair, Recreation Hazard are known for finishing their games within 20 minutes, so
Radiant team.
Points away.
Morphling.
Morphling's an interesting pick. Not really good early game. Like because of the attribute shift, he needs to be really low HP, and against a Pangolier who swashbuckle, especially in the early game, and once he gets that javelin, would most likely be able to one-shot you if he gets all the hits on you.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
oh, they did ban a Rubik though, so this is going to be interesting to see what they pick.
The question is, are you going to be safe lane with that morph since it is a second pick and the team police
5
will be able
seconds
to.
remaining.
No, I mean for recreational hazard, they did pick the Morphling second, right? And Team Police now have enough time to counterpick it, even though the AA has been banned, which kind of, and the OD as well, both of the heroes which are pretty good against a Morphling.
Storm Spirit would be really good against the Morphling as well. And the Earthshaker,
10
in fact.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Lion.
You can appreciate yourself all you want, but that will not change the fact that you'll never be climbing to 4K.
10 seconds remaining.
Well,
I mean, think about it
Lan-
carefully. You either call him the loveliest or you call me the loveliest. Because, like,
Dire team pick.
and you can't call yourself the loveliest because, like, that has no bearing. I think it's all fair to say that we're all really bad people, like the three of us, like that.
Well, with the Bane pickup, the Pangolier is not going to have a good time in his ulti if he gets gripped. We did see that kind of provides a bit of problems for a Pangolier getting gripped during ulti.
Radiant team pick. Alchemist.
Oh, the team police. The,
Like
Interesting.
Nets Bane was pretty good back in the day.
10 seconds. Dire team ban.
Invoker.
Yeah, since Team Police went with the Alchemist, he's not really a laner. If he goes mid, he's not going to be that happy since the Recreational Hazard has a Bane and a Earthshaker. Like you were talking about, they are pretty strong early on as well, and a good roaming duo. Since with a Bane, you can set up the Fissure perfectly. And since on the other side, you have an Invoker who dishes out a hefty amount of damage if he goes Exort, which I think he should be this game, since they do have quite a bit of setup with the Bane and the Earthshaker.
And especially with the Invoker as well, that Sunstrike Nightmare combo guarantees you a free kill every
10
time.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds.
They are going to be looking towards. Oh, the Alchemist. The Alchemist is most likely going to be going mid because Alchemist versus Invoker, that's a pretty good matchup.
Team pick.
You're not really going to be struggling for farm and you're not going to be really low HP versus the Invoker. So
Ten seconds remaining.
Are you talking about the Juggernaut for Recreational
5
Hazard?
seconds remaining.
While it is true that the Bane, while it is true that they'll be able to disrupt the Jugger because of Bane and even the Sunstrike going through spin, but then if they're gonna focus on Jugger that way, they're gonna leave the Pango uninterrupted, right? And then the Pango will be able to provide that rolling support and get Jugger out of trouble in team fights, I believe. So I think Jugger is basically not a bad pick, especially now.
an off-lane Zeus is very interesting.
Admiral
You may
Conker.
now select your heroes.
It's a mid Alchemist. I mean, the Alchemist is going to be going mid, but Kunkka might just be going offline. Oh, one combo that I could see over here is Kunkka with his X Mark and Willow with that trap. That's a guaranteed trap. Might be useful. Might be a good combo. Extended disable.
so I kind of just realized that I forgot to unmute myself on XSplit, which means that although DOTA TV people would be able to listen to me, I am sorry to people on the stream. You might have been wondering why, you know, these two random voices were there, but if it makes you guys feel any better, I predicted the draft pretty well. I got one accurate prediction in there. 1 out of 10. It's pretty good if I do say so myself.
That percentage of getting correct, that is definitely very high.
It's kind of like our
No
party
question.
games. Well, fortunately, the party MMR is no longer a thing. And you know, Tala, you were talking a little bit about the combination that you saw.
With the Dark Willow and that Kunkka, it looks like they will be going towards that top lane. So a very deadly combo coming out on the side of the Dire.
Actually,
Earthshaker
the
is
Kunkka's
going to
going
be
mid.
Yeah, that, of course,
Kunkka's
Kunkka's
going
going
mid.
mid.
Oh,
That's what I said.
playing-
It's a safe lane alchemy. I told you that.
Well, I prefer the Alchemist on the mid lane. You know, Alchemist, even if you deny the Alchemist's farm, there's no way an Alchemist will not find a way to come back into the game. I mean, an Alchemist will always get his farm.
I mean, they ended
Until
the previous
unless you
game in
shut down the
11
jungle.
minutes.
Yeah, until unless you shut down the jungle as well, it's pretty hard to shut down an Alc. Granted that you need to stack up for him as well in case that he gets really behind in lane, so that he can get his radiance up pretty quickly.
Oh, this Alchemist may just be getting trapped over here with the Earthshaker.
They're just fighting so hard for these bounty runes. Even Spark's going to choose to miss up. Oh, that's a beautiful stun though. That might be enough, and they're able to get nothing. The Alchemist does not get the bounty rune. The stun came in a little bit too early, and they're trying to get a kill with it as well, just to make sure that the Willow doesn't have chances to get the secondary bounty rune. Invoker ends up pulling out that cold snap, and Ibad will get first blood. With that, a second kill does come through, and that is onto Arrow. Now, that being said, Rajput is still not too happy about that. But mid lane is where, you know, Kunkka gets a few free waves.
And a free level. I mean, Kunkka's going to be level 2, Invoker's going to be level 1.
Nice turn. Good damage coming on to the Invoker.
Yeah, Invoker is going to have the salve up.
No, he's got
Which he doesn't have.
Quas. What? How did that kill happen? Bottom lane, there's more action happening. Why is there action happening everywhere? Guys.
No, that action was in the top lane. Zeus was top.
Yeah, but there's also Bane just saying like, hey, Pango, do you want to be friends? Pango, why don't you want to be friends with me?
Well, because you are a nightmare. Quite literally.
Ibad will die, and he
Ibad
probably has a better fate than we do, having to listen to Ram's bad puns. Paki Shroud to be the man to do just that. Nicely
Well,
played.
I mean, Pango is he's doing his thing or something of his own. Joker is going to be wondering what sort of next level strategy is this Pangolier playing with.
Oh, 2 creep waves.
That's ambitious. I'm not gonna lie. That's like it's a lot of damage coming your way.
Very ambitious.
I mean, the one good thing that this does do is, I suppose, it kind of forces the wave to push out a lot. So right now, if he wants to back off and go for the TP, there has been the brain sap used. So if Panko just TPs back towards a tier,
Oh, he's going to die. Oh, he makes it out. I'm getting rough state.
you've been rusty for a very long time.
Yeah, everyone
Meanwhile-
else doesn't need to know that.
Meanwhile, Zeus just go down top lane. It looks like he wanted to contest a bit of action against Lion and Willow. Whatever would have that gotten him.
Honestly, that's such a good play by Pango. I just realized there are 3 waves coming in, and they can't pull this. As long as Joker's pull is prevented, Pango is going to be able to get so much experience from this. He even used a smoke to come back to the lane quickly to make sure that he doesn't lose anything potentially. I mean, even if you pull this.
He is trying to pull it. Let's see.
Okay, he
Large
actually
amount.
gets a very good percentage of that as well, because the nice thing about what Joker did just there is that you deny 2 range creeps. So although he does get a lot of free experience, he'll get quite a bit of farm, even though he's missing a few of those last hits, which he probably
Oh,
shouldn't
top
be.
Earthshaker might just be going down again.
Well, that seems to be an inevitability. Paki Shroud will be traded, as Arrow does have another lightning bolt, but Rajput will get the vision needed. As I say, that stuns himself, but will take down Arrow in the process of doing so as well. Not doing too badly early on the top lane from the Dire side.
They're pretty much doing... I think this is their dream lane. Look at Alchemist. He has 1600 gold already, 3 minutes in.
Oh, and he is going for that Radiance. Perhaps a Midas this game wouldn't be as bad.
Really? You want
Really? You want the Alchemist to go Midas in this game?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, listen, I'm a fan of a Midas in situational circumstances.
I think this is a terrible situation for the Midas though. Like, you need the Alchemist to come online.
Exactly, when you're this good in the lane, when you're getting kills,
Get the
you'd
Radiance.
rather want to get a Radiance, get a Blink, and start fighting with your team.
I mean, he might end up going down soon though. The Zeus will start getting those levels up. Mid lane, Sparks is being harassed out of his mind. He is actually very
Bango
even. As I say that though, like I said, Alchemist was probably going to go down soon. And that will be the time. Now Joker gets the kill in the meanwhile in the bot lane, but it looks like Arrow and Ibad aren't done just yet. Ibad,
I am not sure why this Pango keeps on going for the strategy. I mean, he keeps on dying at the tier 3. I'm not sure why.
It becomes...
Perhaps if they confuse them enough, they might, you know.
Hold that thought though. Top lane, apparently action will never stop. And the Alchemist does manage to get himself another last hit. Mid lane is where further action is happening. The Kunkka decides to just stand his ground and go down, not putting up a fight at all. And that is that. Now, as I say that though, some good banter and exchanges coming out for the Dire side. They should be able to get 2 of those. Arrow stunned up and Ibad is coming in from the sidelines. He should get this kill onto the Dark Willow while Warrior goes down bot lane as well. Dark Willow almost goes down, but the magic stick will keep him alive for a little while longer. Mango used and Stormbolt to kill the Willow.
They do have a 2k gold lead though. Radiant already at 5 minutes in.
Against an Alchemist.
What's interesting is that even though Kunkka had a level advantage early on, right now we see the Invoker with the level advantage.
Kunkka died.
That's... yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that for that, none of the support rotated in for a help out, especially since you have a Willow and a Lion.
I mean, that is one of the bigger issues of running this tri lane with Alchemist.
Yeah.
They can't really run away from him.
The Alchemist does decide to make his treads. I suppose he was wondering that if the game continued, he'd have his Radiance very soon, but...
Maybe. If he starts to really take a beating, he can go for that Midas you were talking about, Dala. I like this. Oh no! Oh no! Joko, the outplays. He's got the... Actually, he doesn't even have vision. He doesn't have a vision. It's a very nicely placed Orb Sword. That is nice.
That Oswald prevented that Ghost Shift and Torrent on him.
But I
believe they could have followed. They started with
line.
the
Ibad's got himself the Echo Slam. Rajput will be going down, even if he's able to run away just a little while longer. Seems like Zeus will have... Ooh, as I say that though, Rajput will kill himself. Salve up, my friend. Salve up.
That was
next level.
Very well.
That's what it was. Oh my god, though. It's just... This is so funny. Ibad's just being chased around. He's just like, alright guys, it's okay. This Kunkka doesn't want to use the X mark. Kind of curious about that one, but at the very least, they should be able to get the kill on Ibad nonetheless. Stun comes out, no follow-up yet. Kunkka decides to just go back to the shrine, and Ibad will get away to safety. Dark Willow puts herself at risk, but not very much of it.
A hero we haven't talked about until now is a Morphling who has that uncontested farm, we should say. And what do you think is going to happen once that Morphling starts to show up in fights?
They win?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I agree they win, like, but like, you might want to go into a bit more specifics. Like, where do you want the Morphling to go? Like, which item?
I want the Morphling.
The one hero down.
Oh, you know what? I don't think
you
we
were
get
speaking
it.
about a fight.
We don't get a chance to really discuss much because top lane action will never stop, even if they will try their hardest to stop it. Rajput gets away to safety, but at his life, I mean,
Start plotting. We have revenge tonight.
I don't know what to say.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, mid lane, a Bane with a haste is toying with a Kunkka.
And that Kunkka's also got an enfeeble on him, so not the nicest thing in the world.
This is why I prefer the Alchemist in the mid lane, because you can get kills with the help of your supports, but Alchemist doesn't have anything in the start, right? He just needs to farm. He just needs to farm, and he should be on the mid lane.
Yeah, and
He's gonna come top. He's gonna get fissured. Zeus is gonna nuke him, and then he's just gonna go back.
he's also just not level
I'm
6
not sure
yet,
where he's
unfortunately. The XP on the mid lane is also obviously quite nice. 10-minute runes would be important for them to be able to get, but it looks like the Radiant side don't want that to happen.
Alchemist is getting caught by the Invoker, and it looks like he's
Yeah.
gonna go down. No bombs.
This is... Is this going to be another 11-minute win? I hope not, really. Alchemist hasn't lost yet, that's the big thing. Now Zeus, great ship, actually catches out Joker as well in the back lines, which means that he should be going down. Now Sparks is still alive, will be copped by the Tiebringer, will continue pursuit of Kunkka, who's got himself the double bracer, is keeping himself alive as well. Thank you very much, Rum. Great stun from Pakistan to prevent anything more from happening, but unfortunately for Kunkka, Arrow's got his level 6 now. I think he might have actually used the Tome of Knowledge for that one. Ibad will be going in the back lines, and Paki Shrine will not die to the Sunstrike, will instead die to the Urn. I don't think Alex is going to get 6, guys.
Yeah, he's getting hunted down by the Earthshaker and the Zeus.
I mean, they could just give him the tome, and he'd get level 6.
Ooh, cancel! No, they don't see him.
They don't have vision.
They were waiting for him to, I think, walk back, and that just not moving forward.
Kunkka is going to die in the mid lane. There is no way.
Bottom
No
lane,
help coming
bottom
for this.
lane, and they've got themselves... Oh my god, Mohazed, what are you doing? Great start onto the Morphling, but they don't quite have the follow-up needed to prevent him from getting the adaptive strike off. Not the adaptive strike, rather the attribute shift off. He should be able to get himself away to safety. Probably not the best of candidates to try and go for your first finger with online.
Yeah, unless the Lion was the one to initiate on that and catch him out before the attribute shift, that I think would have been a different story. He was on really low health with the Morphling, and then for a moment there it looked like they were gonna get it.
No, but then the Pangolier just kind of revealed himself.
Ibad is going for that Aghanim's scepter. He has maxed up his enchant totem, and he deals the most amount of damage in his team right now.
Well, I mean, you know, if he's gonna get it at the same timing that he would normally get a Blink Dagger, why not?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It works for you as a blink as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
More.
You know, 15-minute.
Oh, Observer Ward placed in the mid lane.
Ibad's got a
and
lot of
Kunkka
net
is-
worth, so if they get this... Oh my god, can you stop using yourself to stun yourself, mate? Like, Rajput has made that mistake quite a few times so far. I guess that might have been one of the reasons why, but Ibad's able to get away to safety because of it. He was just getting a bit too greedy with the potential damage from the unstable concoction.
Yeah, with the Alchemist being picked for the safe lane, we're starting to see now that the Dire don't really have the damage to bring down the Radiant heroes, even though at the beginning of the game it was a different story where the Zeus and the ES were going down constantly.
Dire's middle
But
Kunkka
once
does
the
not
level
seem to have a
advantage,
bottle.
Pardon me?
Kunkka does not have a bottle.
That's pretty common,
He-
in all fairness. Like... This is an interesting one over here. The tornado will stop Pangolia's ulti from coming through, and then Zeus has just got so much damage. This is a bit of a lost cause. Yeah.
Oh, Zeus did end up dying to that tower over there. Worth it though, worth it. Alchemist is going to be going for that Shadowblade Maelstrom. Good old nostalgia days.
Yeah, it gives him a bit of fighting ability in the start. Instead of, like, with the Radiance and Blink, sure, you can go in and fight with your team, but since you are constantly being hunted down, you would want some items that can be broken down into smaller components so that you can buy them, so that if you die, you don't lose out.
It is still kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't thing, where if you don't go for the Radiance, you just lose so much of the Alchemist's ability to farm. Now, of course, if they're able to get a few good team fights, that is a different story, and I really hope they can to make this a little bit more competitive. It's a slightly one-sided, 10k net worth advantage.
It's going to be a very interesting fight. Invoker is going to run up to 12, like 4 heroes, not 12, and that's just bad.
What?
12 heroes.
How do you count 12? How do you count?
I think he counted the neutral creeps too. Oh, Invoker's been spotted. They've got themselves a ship on the other side, catching absolutely nothing. But it seems like Invoker might be going down over here. They don't have the Finger of Death. Lion will be stunned up by the Morphling who stole his abilities. Although the Invoker will be brought back, they don't quite have the vision necessary to be able to bring him down. As I say that, though, they follow things up and finally get it done. Now, Hawkeye's here, and Hawkeye's dominating, and Hawkeye is going to continue to dominate as he gets kill after kill after kill. Alchemist and Kunkka the only ones alive, and even that might not be for long as they are able to get the interrupt through. The adaptive strike as well. X marks the spot to try and save them. Hawkeye coming through, almost getting the adaptive strike out to get the kill, but the regeneration working in Rajput's favor.
The adaptive strike is doing just
so much. Oh no. Alchemist. What will you do next? Ibad does finish up the Aghanim Scepter at the very least, but this one is a kill for the Dire side.
Morphling is going for that Manta style. Actually, he is also going to buy himself an Aghanim Scepter. He's just going to keep a casual Yasha, it seems like.
Oh no, Manta first. Probably.
I forget what his Aghanim's. I think they removed the ability to target allies from the talent tree and shifted it into Aghanim.
Box goes down. That's something at the very least, but the problem is still, I mean, Hawkeye's just getting so much farm. He's on 9.2k. 12k net worth advantage. 12k!
I don't think they can kill him.
Yeah, that looks unlikely. Ibad might even be able to just continue getting a bit of a response out. Now, they do use the Bedlam. Bedlam's giving them good damage, and Ibad should go down over here. Unfortunately, Alchemist probably has stunned himself more often than not. Ibad takes a fall. Arrow isn't quite able to finish off the Dark Willow as hard as he did try.
And Hawkeye continues to farm.
I think Earthshaker saw him waving in the mid lane.
Yeah. Well. Rajput, he's dead. Again, doesn't get the stun off in time. So I think the Pangolia's ultimate right now just described the entire game that I side are having. They look like they're en route somewhere, but they run into a wall and then immediately are thrown back. Joker. Oh, Joker, that was beautiful. Managed to get the Nightmare off perfectly. That's what I was talking about. This guy is just so good. And look at that, Morphling with the Aghanim Scepter, was able to take away... Oh, I don't know if you saw that one, Rami, but I'll quickly point that out afterwards because Ibad is still in hot pursuit. But Morphling right there used the Aghanim Scepter to be able to become the Dark Willow, and then when he was Dark Willow, he used the... whatchamacallit? Thingy. Realm?
Yeah.
Night Realm.
The realm, and then he shifted
the
back.
realm. No, but in the realm, he still gets the Aghanim Scepter bonus. And he's got so much attack speed because of his agility that he managed to literally rip apart everyone.
Yeah. The Aghanim Scepter doesn't. It's not, since it's an enemy hero. You don't need the Aghanim Scepter to actually target him, except the mana cost reduction and the cast range increase is really
Willow. And then in realm.
Yeah.
Because you have the Aghanim's effect on realm.
I see what you're talking about.
Yes. So he was, and because he also has the attack speed of his own self. So yeah.
Oh, Alchemist is caught out in the enemy jungle. He will seem to stun himself up again.
No, I think Joker. That was really nicely played from Joker. That could have been Alchemist killing himself otherwise. Joker tried to stop that from happening with the Nightmare. That was nice.
Yeah, and he was successful with it as well.
Yeah.
And they're just going on this Kunkka, hoping that he'll die.
Okay, they're not hoping. They're not hoping. They are succeeding. And Ibad is. Oh my God, guys, this is.
Yeah, I don't know why Kunkka wanted to stay there for that long when he. I don't know.
That's the second time Pangolier has been stopped from using his ultimate by the Invoker.
I hate being
Joker
the guy who
casually
says
talking
this.
about the Earthshaker.
I really hate being the guy who says this, but it might be a little bit too late in this game. It's 17,000 net worth lead, 19 minutes in. I don't know if the Dive realize just how difficult their circumstances are. Oh my God, Ibad just came in. No, that's a Morph. What? Did Morph?
That's a Morph.
Oh, okay.
That's a
Well, now there's a secondary Earthshaker coming through, and he will be a dead Earthshaker, I guess. But he's brought back. Make sure that they do get him. Alright, maybe that's what they needed.
Zeus's ultimate cancel by the tornado.
What did they
Both the
need to do?
Earthshaker and Morphling just
What
too
do they need
aggressive
to
over
do?
there.
Yeah, how
need
did they
to-
come back in this game?
Break the other team's PCs.
Like right now, you saw that in the jungle
Yeah,
they were able to.
just go ham on their PCs, man. Like that's one way to win the game.
Well, actually, you saw in the jungle that they were able to kill the Invoker and the Earthshaker. I think what they need to do is stay a bit grouped up so that they can provide relief to their teammates on the dire side. And since the Radiant are being a bit overconfident, not overconfident, over-aggressive, I should say. And they should have the ability to catch out any of the over-aggressive heroes and single them out and just focus them down. But then again,
the
you have...
problem for the Dire is that Radiant have so many.
Oh, they
heroes
see
that
them. They got the
also-
two-man stun as well. This might be brilliant because they've got all the follow-up in the world, and they get a very oh my God, that's a double. They are just trying to have fun with the double Earthshaker at this point. Now Earthshaker will find out it's not very fun to have your jump interrupted as Pangolier will bring him down. Secondary Earthshaker jump comes in. Hawkeye still is able to come right back into Earthshaker form. Follow up with another stun. Keeps on coming, keeps on dunking. And Ibad is finding out he's not even the best Earthshaker on his team.
Look at that damage,
What is-
200 plus 900. He's hitting for 1200 with the enchant totem in Morph when he's himself. Like, that is just ridiculous.
I just realized, did you know you get a 600 cast range increase because of the Aghanim Scepter?
Yeah.
So like his jump is so long range.
Even the cooldown reduction from it is absurd. 35% cooldown reduction. Even the mana cost reduction. Like, everything is just...
Alchemist does have a Shadow Blade, so he will be going in for that stun once he's unlocked.
Once he's done farming, though. Once he's done farming.
I don't think he's going to be done farming anytime soon, unfortunately. Paki Shroud, though, might be done living pretty soon. And depth detection. Oh, beautiful, man. Joker's been so good with these saves. His Bane is just such a treat to watch. And in goes Ibad. Ibad wants to get out the fissure as well, but he's forced to use Scepter himself up for now. Instead, it is just going to be the jumps that keep on going. It is just going to be this Morphling that keeps on. Oh my god! He's so mobile! He's so mobile!
You see the damage he does when he comes out of the enchant totem and then morphs back into
That's
himself.
so good. That is such.
I don't know if you saw that, but Willow died in one hit. Like I'm not exaggerating here.
All right,
That's
guys.
948 reducing a 0.
I mean,
For the time being in the start, it looked like the top lane was really gonna play out in the favor of Dire when they were able to get a lot of kills. But the Radiant were able to turn it around once that they were able to focus down the Alchemist with their
once they
Zeus
did everything.
Thunderbolts and Earthshaker Enchant Totem. Yeah.
I don't think that game can get too much analysis coming out, so we'll be back in just a bit. Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. I mean, I hope Game 2 is slightly more competitive coming out from the other side.
डर से भागना क्या गेम से डरना क्या The game is in you, the arena's waiting for you Let out your war cry, तू जीत के दिखा डर के आगे आ दुनिया को competition We're in this to win this No mistakes now One wrong move You're out of the game They're screaming your name so tell me Are you game? डर से भागना क्या गेम से डरना क्या The game is in you The arena's waiting for you Let out your war cry तू जीत के दिखा डर के आगे आ दुनिया को competition We're in this to win this No mistakes now One wrong move You're out of the game They're screaming your name so tell me Are you game?
Dire team radio.
After what was a very long game played by Team Police, we got ourselves something a little bit shorter. Recreational Hazard made the previous match a very one-sided affair. We'll have to wait to see whether Police can turn things around and kind of see what's going wrong.
We do see the Morphling ban coming out in the second. Seems like they don't really want to face that again, and I'm sure if I was there, not sure, I'm certain that if I was there, I would definitely not want to play against that again.
Talha, what do you think about the Ancient Apparition and Trigger combination coming out early on?
Seconds remaining.
I think they're going for that Wombo combo. I think they should be picking up a Faceless Void and, Invoker. Just make everything perfect. Make everything just so, 5-man Echo Slam, 5-man Ice Blast, and everyone's just dead. I think that's what they're going for.
I think you're reliving the moment when EG did that 5-man Echo in the Roshan pit against
$1 million Echo Slam.
$1 million Echo Slam.
It wasn't $1 million Echo Slam. It was a $6 million Echo Slam. But okay, guys,
6 million.
There's a big difference. Well, I mean, yeah, this is always one of the big points. Where you have to kind of.
I think
decide.
the recreational has.
You can go.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, fine then. Well, I just feel like this is one of the places where Police, if they decide to go for a very heavy team fight lineup, I can still see them opening up room for themselves to, kind of just execute that perfect team fight, come back off the back of that. There always is some space for you to make mistakes, and I would understand after the previous game with how Recreational Hazard did just seem to overpower them if that's what they want to go for.
I don't know why, but I have this inkling of a feeling that this Furion is going to be making a dig on.
How about we?
Interesting feeling.
How about we?
Interesting spidey senses, I must say. But
how about we wait for the game before we talk items?
Yeah, but if we want to talk about team fights, Team Police will really have to take care about split push coming out because Leshrak or Nature's Prophet will push your towers like crazy. And I think that's what the recreational hazard people want to do.
I think Sprout into a Leshrak stun sounds absolutely genius.
It's innovative. It's genius.
It's yeah. I mean, look, this is before a team reaches the finals, like a favorite team. They use the opportunity for the lesser matches to try out new things. So this could be one of those times.
I mean, a Nature's Prophet.
You even have a Wraith King.
Yeah, I mean that's what I say. There's a lot of setup for the Leshrak stun.
Yeah.
And not to mention like the Wraith King skeletons, the Nature Prophets,
A lot of
trees.
push.
You pair up a Brood Mother, spiders. Just everything for that Earthshaker to live his dream.
Well, do you reckon if they pick a Brute Mother, they'll be...
Oh, this
pretty
is a
good
full
with-
push
Oh.
strat. It's a 4-position Nature's Prophet now, that's for sure. Or a 2-position
Yeah, Nature's Prophet always been one of those versatile heroes that can actually play in any role, because you always have that option of going to the jungle or the enemy's jungle and just farming.
On both jungles.
10 seconds.
I mean,
Both jungles at the same time, yeah.
I would quite like to see a 2-position
5
Nature's
seconds
Prophet
remaining.
coming out, or yeah, I would really like that, to be honest. It's been a long time since I've seen something on those lines. It's not the best of things in the world. It's definitely very unorthodox, but Recreational has it. If there's any team that can pull it off in the qualifier, it's probably them.
With Lone Root pickup, they'll be a little bit constrained on the timings, I think. Like, you'd want Radiance. Do you still go for a Radiance on the bear,
No,
though?
probably not.
You go for something more fight-oriented,
Maelstrom wouldn't be bad.
like Maelstrom
Yeah.
and a medallion on the hero instead of the bear. That kind of makes the bear hit a bit harder. Even I think Mask of Madness, something along those lines, that'll allow Lone Druid to dip into the fights earlier than what he would usually want to do when he would be going a Radiant.
Odie's an interesting pick, but I quite miss the days, and this was a long time ago. I don't know if you guys actually played back then. You guys remember the days when Lone Druid used to build an omelet on his bear?
Nope.
Yeah, that was not so long ago.
What are you talking about? That was in 2013, Tala.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, but listen. When you said you guys weren't playing, I've been playing since Dota version 36. Okay, so like compared to that, it's not been a long time.
You're very cute. You're very cute.
I managed to pull it off. Like I managed to say something stupid and then make up for it.
I mean, I've been playing since 584, so hey, it's okay. Anyway, it's not a competition. It's not a competition. But if I was, I would have won. Anyhow, OT
Radiant
picked up.
team banned.
Juggernaut on the other side has been banned. At this stage, I would honestly just say maybe just go for a Keeper of the Light. Classic anti-push on the Team Police side. You know, I know there's no carry then, but it's a hard game for them, guys. Okay, I'm just very confused about what they can do after the previous game and how that went. It's difficult to see them doing much unless they're able to cheese something out. What do you think Recreational has it goes for their final pick?
Radiant team pick.
Well, I mean that's a very difficult question because the Recreational Hazard, they're trying out new things. They're looking to mess around a bit as well, and at the same time looking to dominate. So
It's kind of like the first time you go to college.
yeah.
Anyhow. Police on the other side, though, are kind of the high schoolers who are about to make it there. But we'll have to wait to see what they want to pull out as well. For them, like you said, a Void still isn't a bad shout. A Lifestealer would be pretty good too, but it is going to be the Void at the end of the day. So Lifestealer was actually banned out by them, I just noticed. That is my mistake.
And it is a Pugna pick by Recreational Hazard. So an all pushing lineup, very good against the Faceless Void actually, because the Void at early levels, even if he has the Chronosphere, he cannot do much.
And you really don't have that much follow-up in the Chrono other than, like, you do have the OD, but early on in the game, you're not going to have the OD there punching Chrono when you just hit 6, unless they go for that. Well,
Even then,
it's going to be... Yeah, even then, it's pretty hard.
Well, it is going to be a Pugna and a Leshrac off lane, so they are going to have a fair bit amount of push and lane control, and Furion can very well TP in at any time. So it is going to be a 3 versus 3 lane. Ancient Apparition, Earthshaker, and Faceless Void going at it, with the OD going mid and the Panda going offlane.
I mean, Lone Druid mid versus OD is decent too.
It is Lone Druid versus...
I just realized how to say his name. It's Cataclysm. That's OD's name. I've been wondering for so long. But now that we know the name, guys, we're going to be going to a short ad break and be back in just a bit. And we are back with this. It is just going to be a straight up, that's for a nice little friendly start to everything. So it's not, wait, is it? What's happening? Okay, Ibad might be mid anyway.
I don't think Ibad's going mid.
Well, he has a pull tangos.
Yeah.
Leshrac seems to be AFK in his base.
Can you disconnect from being AFK in a lobby?
Seconds to battle.
Can you abandon?
No,
Okay.
you cannot. Because... then how would you do the Kunka Tinker combo, where you just sit in base and then TP and have the Tinker X you, and then
Well, I mean, you can.
just go
That
ham.
happens if you don't get experience for 5 minutes. So you do abandon in like matchmaking.
Yeah, but not in lobby.
Fair enough. Well, you know what? This looks to be. Wow, dude, that was. I don't know if you guys saw that, but top lane, Baki Shroud.
Yeah, I saw that.
I saw all of it. Unfortunately, I cannot unsee that, man.
First blood might have
And
been.
we missed the first
no,
blood
we
because
didn't.
of it.
Realistically, the real blood that was spilled was right there when the Fisher. Okay, guys. Okay. So it is Ibad in the mid
Arrow
lane.
does seem to be back.
Yeah. Arrow's had his fun times. He's here now. This is gonna be a good lane. Leshrac and the Wraith King are going to be fairly effective, especially if Joker's ever able to TP in. Now Joker, not too happy with those rank.
I am not sure why Radiant are choosing to go for the Earthshaker Panda combo, because it is 2 melee heroes up there.
Well, if they shift it around, it's gonna be 2 melee bot and against a Nature's Prophet and a Druid. A lone Druid, you don't... I think it's better to keep it this way. Well, it looks like the Dire have gone for a straight pushing lineup where they want to aggressively push towers with the Treant, Skeletons, Pugna Blast, Diabolic Edict, you name it. At least each and every hero has something that's gonna help them push towers. And not only towers, I think they're pretty good in team fights as well, because the Nature's Prophet can just TP in at any given moment, and the follow-up can potentially bring down the Radiant heroes, whoever gets focused.
Joker's being gone on. The cold feet will not be triggered. He is fine for now, but they need a bash to actually be able to bring him down, and it seems like that bash will not be happening, but a very long range mace to the face will take him down.
Well, both teams are just testing each other out, I guess, except the bot lane where some hatred is shared.
Odie's doing fairly well towards mid though. He's actually managed to get himself up to 16 last hits. He is leading the charge over there.
It is going to be pretty interesting to see how Radiant. I mean, they need to chain everything perfectly, right? The Chronosphere, the Ancient Apparition, Ice Blast, the Earthshaker, Echo Slam, and then may just be enough to take down the Dire team. I actually forgot what they're called. Recreational Hazard.
Yes. Well, Recreational Hazard has forced Rajput out of his lane. Joker's still ready to actually fight this one away. He's asking for some backup to come in, and it seems like he has bitten off more than he can chew, but at the same time, a lot of last hits being missed by the Radiant side. Now, Lone Druid comes in and says, it's my turn. I'm gonna start harassing you instead now. There is no level 5 yet, so they will just be reliant on the TP to come through from Joker. Rajput is being focused down. Great roar to send him back, and it's a quick kill onto the Faceless Void.
I'm not sure why Faceless Void is playing so aggressive over here. I mean, he should be farming up, not going after these kills.
I think it's really just because they're going after him, but you know what? If he just got a bash over there, maybe it would have been a different circumstance. Joker, in the meanwhile, is going to help guarantee a kill onto the Ancient Apparition, and yeah.
Oh, the juke coming out from Joker. No mana on Earthshaker, he's not gonna be able to catch him.
He does have a mango though, and
yeah.
Therein comes that stun, but he seems to have blocked the Void.
Oh no.
He is going to follow him though. Furion does not have any way to go out.
He's got beautiful body blocks though. This could be big. Joker could just be trying to buy himself some time, but he is really making some bad space. In the meanwhile, Ancient Apparition is just going to get... What? Ibad solo killed OD?
And the Lone Druid is gonna...
Wait, oh my god.
And Ancient solo kills the Lone Druid. I mean, that is unexpected plays coming out all around.
I missed every single one of those kills.
Lone Druid was just standing there. Yeah, he just stood there.
I think he wasn't looking down towards bot either. I think he was also looking at Joker. And Lone Druid ends up going down because of it.
He was just standing there and he let the proc come from the ice feed. Like everything.
Oh, Earthshaker just saved Joker from his fissure, dividing a Radiant in the Dire side.
What is this 4x combo thing? What is this 4x combo thing?
I think both of the... Oh, that's the Earthshaker Arcana. That counts the amount of stuns that he gets.
Ah, okay, fair enough. I was very confused about that for a second, but no. Yeah.
Void is hanging back in his trees because he cannot do anything against this Lone Druid. This is why I suggested a tri-lane in the first place, because they would have had better luck with this.
Oh no,
Mask of Madness on the bear.
It's enough to be able to get a root. Maybe Sparks would be taking him down very quickly if that had happened. Mid lane, another kill potentially coming through. There are two players trying to converge upon the Pugna. Pugna, though, will be able to keep himself alive for just a little while. The nether loss coming through, but seems like OD will not be the one to get the kill. Instead, he turns around to take priority towards Joker, who will die for Ibad's sins.
Well,
this is what he's going to be using up at that shrine. Not very effective usage though. I mean, Faceless Void is going to be...
Oh, Ibad's got a chance to really bring them all down. Arrow is still alive. The Cold Feet will not proc, but Roshan takes down Arrow instead. And now Ibad's got himself a chance, but he doesn't have the mana to avail it. Khaki Shroud.
No fissure from...
2 seconds. Now he's got it. He could trap him in as well if he really wanted to, but first and foremost, trying to make sure he can... Oh, okay. That's a lot of damage. That is a lot of damage. Meanwhile, speaking of a lot of damage, Hawkeye...
Top lane.
Yeah. We can't follow these kills, guys.
Getting a kill, because there are solo kills happening that shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? Like, Wraith King shouldn't be soloing down a Panda. That doesn't make sense.
Well, Ibad, not gonna have a fun time, my friend. He is brought down.
Well, he does go down to the tower, splitting the cost between each and everyone.
It looks like this is the time for Dire to be going for that death push. Nothing. I don't think Radiant have anything to stop this right
There is
now.
no such thing as
They
a
don't
death
have
push
their
for the
ultimate
Dire.
up.
The Dire are very much alive. It's just very much as, hey, just a push. Alright, they're not gonna die.
Listen, Radiant is the one who's gonna be dying from this push. Okay, it's like a stampede.
Ooh, nice deny from the OD, but the return, along with the root, might be enough to go on him. Unfortunately, Astral is available.
Well, it's 8 minutes into the game, and the Dire have been able to take 2 towers, bot and mid. This has acquired them a 5k lead in gold, which is massive 8 minutes in.
Faces Void does have his Chronosphere up, Ancient Apparition about to have it.
I mean, yeah, he's got himself a time walk at the very least once again, but any kind of route might be enough. Nice Chronosphere. Ancient Apparition not going to have his ulti for quite a while anyhow, so may as well just use that. You're not going to be able to kill someone without the AA.
Yeah, I think he needed to expend that there, otherwise he would have been
Panda
from down.
going to go down in top lane. There's so many heroes up there. But in fact, Arrow is just going to stand there and hit the tower.
Yeah. Well, Hawkeye does get that kill. There's no ultimate for the Brewmaster. Another for Hawkeye. And it seems like this game is very much the opposite of in the bag. It is outside of the bag.
Oh wow, they let the AA go.
Look, what is Ibad
Mercy.
doing, man? Like, it's just, hey, I'm gonna intercept you. You're coming back, I'll find you, it's okay, don't worry, I'll walk you home. Oh, you're dead? Alright. Don't ever let anyone walk you home, guys. It's not safe.
All the towers going down, the Chronosphere being used over there. I do not think the Chronosphere was worth it because, I mean,
Yeah, now they don't have anything to fight with.
yeah, now they don't have
They
anything
still
to
don't
fight
have
with. I mean,
AALT though. Honestly, I don't think that Chronosphere does anything without AALT. Nice gold feed onto the Wraith King at the very least, but he does have himself the ultimate. Will it be removed actually? Right as I say that, Odie able to get that kill, quite important for them, but bottom line in the meanwhile, Lone Druid man Sparks is just having a field day.
everyone has their ultimates now. The Earthshaker level 6, Faceless Void level 6. Panda will get it after clearing this wave.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Could be a good kill for them to get, but
Pagna caught up
Yeah.
top over here, but has nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
yeah, this is not looking too hopeful for the Radiant side, fella.
Not looking hopeful at all. The 9k goal lead at 11 minutes in. No way to stop this pushing lineup. It seems like their hopes and dreams for this tournament are going to come to a standstill. They do have that Chronosphere up.
Yeah,
that is the good news. They have
They've
that
got
Chronosphere
Chronosphere,
up
they've
and
got
the
Ancient
Dire
Apparition LT. Maybe they can get a wombo combo because remember, Dire, as much as the lead might be, they still aren't that tanky. AALD is still quite a heavy hitter, but unfortunately it hits literally no one. Nice Sprout will actually isolate Sparks away far enough that he doesn't go down. Instead, he is frozen up by the cold feet. A bit of a problem of Micro coming in over there. Ibad. Time for him to just start throwing out the Nether Blast. Void would like to go in, but the Chronosphere can't be too effective when the Ancient Apparition is on the sidelines. He'd really prefer...
Panda does have his ultimate and he will be coming back into the fight.
Good ulti, good follow-up as well. They do almost take down Arrow, but it just isn't enough. The Astral should be the damage they need to be able to bring him apart, and even a little bit of extra follow-up to come through on the Lone Druid. Lone Druid dodges the ulti of the Ancient Apparition, but it barely clips Ibad while it's going on the side, which will guarantee that death. In the meanwhile, Lone Druid goes down. It was to the Brewlings.
Still though, the Dire team has
out though, they do know that he is going to be jungling and the 4 heroes are going to converge on him.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like he's gonna get away though.
Yeah, I think this Wraith King is.
Leshrac is moving over, and let's see if the NP wants to TP. Nope. It's just gonna be the Leshrac trying to coming in.
Oh, come on, man. Oh, come on. That's not something you can do. Wraith King will go down regardless. Arrow's here to do a lot of damage, but I have to say, that is slightly disappointing. Now, they've got the cavalry, and the cavalry is a bear. Normally, it used to be horses back in the day, but as it turns out, bears will do the trick as well. Arrow is the horse, so I suppose all's well that horse as well.
Just missing that stun on Brew there.
Would like to see a Yasha on Pugna to come through soon. Not a Yasha, a Kaya, sorry. Just the extra damage would be nice for pushing up high ground. Recreational Hazard do not want to wait at all.
I don't think that they're having any trouble pushing high ground. Like,
yeah, that's
the amount of push that they have, they just don't need the Kaya. They just have too much other people as well that do enough damage to the building, especially the demolish.
Oh, well, that is a dead Earthshaker. That is a very dead Earthshaker. He does have buyback, but won't matter all that much. Is there a refresh on the bed? No, there isn't. That buys them 50 seconds perhaps, but now Wraith King has finally decided it is his time to start the shine with his team.
Well, if they're able to get this mega creeps right now, I think that would be GG because
This is what does have his chrono. He will use that chrono. Leshrac will go down.
Yeah, well,
no Decrepify on the Pugna to save the Leshrac there.
well, you know what? That's a successful base defense. Might even be able to get some more kills off the back of that. Pugna needs to buy out the boots of travel before he dies, but I suppose he's fine with that. We'll have them anyway. Wraith King wanting to go back in, no blink dagger to do so. Almost got the animation off the Wraith Fire Blast off, but wasn't quite enough.
Oh, the stun coming out. He catches it.
Oh, well, that is a shame. And what else is a shame is the fact that Earthshaker is likely to go down very soon. Nice Earth Shock, a nice Echo Slam rather, will be able to get them a small advantage, but the root comes through and faces Void, will be sent back with a return as well. At the end of the day, it is Ancient Apparition to get the kill.
Yeah, he came back in so that the bear could hit the Void again. Not.
Earthshaker does have his blink dagger up.
How? How does he have a blink dagger in 15 minutes after everything has been going wrong for them? That is just strange, but very well done by him. The Raxes will be going down. Mega Creeps will be here soon enough. I think this might well be game.
I think they're gonna reset with the Lone Druid and then go for that melee barrack. Better safe than sorry.
So Tala, you mentioned
That's what I
something
feel like.
about breaking their computers. Is it too late to consider that at this point?
I think it is. I think even if you try to break their computers, you don't have the manpower to fight against, 2 lanes of mega creeps.
Well, I mean,
The Aether Lens and the poke from the Nether Blast, just bring it down and finally.
Oh, 17, 18.
Deny the
Oh.
deny.
oh well.
Oh, do you really want to fight this,
I
ladies and gentlemen?
I think this is.
Oh.
He blinks in. Got the stun as well. No Echo Slam, unfortunately, so they will be forced to finish it off the good old-fashioned way.
Did you see the sprout so that the ice feed proc for sure?
They might be having some fun right now on the dire side. Nice stun from Earthshaker onto 2 players. Will follow up as well. Beautifully done. gets these kills very quickly. Buybacks do come out just as quick, but no ultimate for the Brewmaster, and there is no ultimate for AA either for another 5 seconds. Void Chrono is there. They've got follow-up. Ancient Apparition will have her ultimate soon, and it seems like that will miss yet again. AA has not been very consistent with those, and instead it has to be Void to try and save the day. He's on a mega kill streak on Rajput, but really that's more than anything else, just a little bit of a consolation prize.
Well, the rating does have his ulti. And it looks like the Lone Druid is gonna leave him there to die.
Oh.
Well. I don't think that the Radiant get to base defend against Mega Creeps or do that.
That's really do a lot of damage to the heroes. And I mean, look at Rajput, doesn't even have his Maelstrom yet. Will soon enough, so at the very least.
The good news is Mega Creeps become weaker with every wave, and this is 18 minutes in. So in a 40-minute game, the Mega Creeps are going to be like normal creeps.
Really? Is that a thing?
You don't know they get weaker?
I know that the other creeps get stronger. I didn't know Mega Creeps got weaker.
Yeah, they get weaker.
Radiant's top
I'm not sure what the timing is, every 4 waves or something like that.
No, they don't. What are you talking about?
Yes, they do.
I'm gonna have to Google this after the game. I do not believe you.
Radiant's top shrine has fallen.
Well, it looks like they're gonna play the safe bet, get Roshan, and look to end it.
This could be the $6 million Echo.
$6 million Echo, Chrono, AA Blast, everything that you can think of. But
why
no,
is
they
AA
just
Blast on cooldown over here? What did he use it for?
No, they don't. You're wrong. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why you think that. It's because the lane creeps get stronger, so relatively Mega Creeps aren't as strong. The strength of a Mega Creeps is still the same. I just checked that.
But you know I'm bad at maths. Okay, you know this.
God, you're also bad at Dota.
Adding, subtracting, it's both of them the same thing, man.
This guy should work in binary, Rame.
I'm afraid he'll mix up the ones and zeros as well.
Well, seems like they're having some trouble closing it out. The Leshrac on the top lane will probably go down. Aether Lens or not Aether Lens, Aeon Disc or not.
Yeah, I don't know about that. He expended the Chrono for that though.
This should be it. They've got the skeletons, they've got the bear, they've got everything except for Leshrac and the Nature's Prophet, but I guess Nature's Prophet can at least come in very quickly.
They have an Echo Slam as well, so that could be big.
I'm going to call it. The heroes aren't going to do anything. It'll be the creeps that take him down.
Well, let's wait to see. Ibad is in the back lines. Ibad does want to get those Nether Blasts out, but as it looks like it, creeps are pretty strong. Pretty strong indeed. And speaking of creeps, that is a very big creep. That is a very big bear, and that is a very dead ancient. Ibad will be able to help bring it down. Nether Blasts are enough, and a good game. It will be Recreational Hazard to win it out.
Unfortunately for the Radiant team, the Dire just played too fast-paced for them, and the Radiant just weren't able to respond to the aggressiveness that the Dire were showing. And ended up being mega at like 18 minutes. And I think that's not something that you can come back from.
Well, with all that being said, I don't think there's much else to be said. Congratulations to Recreational Hazard. You will be seeing them in Lahore. That should be a fantastic one, being able to see how they match up against the rest of the Pakistani qualifying teams. Remember, if you haven't been following so far, we do have only one qualifier left. That will be the Lahore qualifier that is held, if I remember correctly, on the 25th of August. So make sure you tune in then if you are a Dota to Pakistan fan. Thank you all for tuning in, and this is Tea Time, Grimheart and Tultrus, and we're signing off.